Home of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City.
Bash 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, live video, ready to go on the X platform, YouTube, at Mike Gill Show. I'm your host, Mike Gill. Pete G is my on-site producer. Josh Henning is back in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios. We are at Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township. It's my last show of 2025. Happy
Congratulations,
to be with you.
buddy.
I always
made it.
Yeah, I always feel like this Chickies and Pete's show at EHT is my last show of the year. So let's have some fun today, everybody. Text in anything you want today. Anything is on the table. Any questions, anything about we're going to get into. We have a poll question at 973 ESPN, at 973 ESPN. The poll question is up, which is the year 2025 is coming to a close. Which team in Philly sports are you most excited about for 2026? You can vote at 973 ESPN. As 2025 comes to a close, which Philly sports team are you most excited about for 2026? Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers. We'll update the poll question all throughout the show. Today's will kind of be a smorgasbord of everything. We've got Eagles on the table. We got Sixers on the table. We got Flyers on the table. We've got Phillies on the table. Phillies are making moves. There is a report out there, by the way, that Matt Strom could be a guy, according to Jeff Passan, the best available left-hander. Matt Strom likely to be traded by Philadelphia. Likely to be traded by Philadelphia is the way that was worded. I said yesterday on the show that if I'm the Phillies, I'm trying to trade Matt Strom, and I'm seeing what I can get for him. Not because I don't like Matt Strom, but I think Matt Strom has given the Phillies 3 really good years, and I can't trust a bullpen arm to be good 4 years in a row. So I'm taking the chance. I'll sell high on that one there. Speaking of trade, Jeremy Fowler yesterday over at ESPN.com. Did you guys see this one? As I welcome in my team of guys, Pete G, Josh, and, of course, you guys out there. The text board is open throughout the show. Now, today, I being my last show of the year, taking a little bit of time off to get ready for a hopefully long Eagles playoff run, I like to have some fun. I'd like the text messages kind of just, be smorgasbordy, be all over the place, ask Eagles questions, Phillies questions, Flyers questions,
all
Sixers
Flyers questions today.
Ask whatever, questions. Beer questions. I got the Chickies and Pete's today. Johnny Benson's bartending, as he generally is on these Thursdays. And he's hitting me with like a new Wanderback beer. They got Brick City over there. They got a whole bunch of great beers here. But we'll talk a little happy hour Friday. Text in favorite guests, favorite segments, whatever you want. Okay, it's on the table. But Josh was off yesterday. Hey, Josh, are you recharged?
Oh, I did not rest yesterday. Don't get it twisted.
No rest for the weary.
Yeah, my days off are usually days to get stuff done.
He getting it done, man. Well, my days off are going to be getting stuff done too. I got to go Christmas shopping.
You got 7 days left there, buddy.
When someone asks you, what do you want for Christmas? You have
laugh.
An answer. Is there a stock answer?
I say I don't know.
My stock answer is laugh at them.
Well, I know a lot of people give the I don't need anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Money.
I don't want anything.
Cash.
Money. Right? Can't ask for money.
Gift cards.
I like a gift card. Do you like a gift card? Josh,
Yeah.
do you like a gift card?
See, my problem with the gift card is it's so impersonal sometimes because it feels like a person's giving you a gift card because it's like they don't know what to give you. So they're like,
do you like giving a gift card or do you like getting a gift card?
No. See, if I'm going to give someone a gift, I want to personalize. I want to be like, I know this person likes this.
But what if it's to a restaurant that's personal to them? It's not like a Target gift card. It's an actual.
No, it's personal to you. Like if I gave you a gift card
right.
and it's like a brewery or something,
right.
or one of your favorite spots.
Exactly.
Personal?
I'm talking about the general gift card. Like someone gives you like a $25, like, MasterCard,
Yeah, see, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with
really?
that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they thought of me. They gave me something. You know what's funny?
For gas or something?
I actually had about 3 of them in my wallet the other day. And my girlfriend, she's like, you've had these gift cards. Why don't you ever use them? I'm the person who gets the gift card, and I'll only use it has to be the perfect purchase.
You don't want any left over?
Well, no, it's something that I don't want to actually spend my own money on because it's too pricey. So if I'm going to do it, it's something I'm like, you know what? I'm going to splurge on this. So my girlfriend will be like, so I had this Dick's gift card, and I had it for like 3 years. And she's like, we've been to Dick's probably 15 times a year for 3 years, and you've never used that gift card.
That's a bad job by you.
So the other night, I finally went to Dick's. I found something. I'm like, all right, I will use the gift card. And I handed it to that lady, and she says, there's no money left on this thing. I said, I must have used this thing already. I must have used it. But it's like so we had a Christmas party. Actually, I know exactly when this was. I don't know if it was a Christmas party. This was back during COVID.
I mean, that's 5 years ago.
I think during COVID, we had some sort of Christmas thing on like a Zoom call. Do you remember this, Josh? We were like on Zoom.
I think it were you and I like both like in the studio that day?
No, I was at my house. We were at like
or
our
was
houses.
I at the studio and you were at the house, maybe?
I don't remember, but I thought it was like a Christmas
Yeah,
situation.
like the whole building was like on a Zoom call for
and
a
they
Christmas
were asking
party.
like questions, and it was like elimination and like whatever. I ended up winning whatever it was. And the prize was a $50 Amazon gift card.
Now that's worth it.
I still have that gift card. It has
come
not
on.
been used.
See, that's a bad job.
That's a bad job by you. I'm with Pete.
Can I say something? You know
I would have spent that money already.
Do you know how many times I've shopped and bought something on Amazon?
And didn't use the card?
No, in my life.
Oh.
2?
Maybe 1. And the one time I ordered something on Amazon, it got delivered to my buddy's house, and I had to go to his house and go pick it up because I must have done it wrong. So now I'm like, I don't want to order on there because I don't know where it's ended up. I don't know what's going on. So I have ordered maybe 1 thing on Amazon in my life.
You should try it sometime.
You like it?
It's life-changing. Yes.
It's life-changing.
Are you kidding? Yes.
Like, do you
I
order
would
stuff
say
and get it the same day?
Yeah. Same day, overnight. Like, you could get it like 5 in the morning. If
I was sitting on the toilet and ran out of toilet paper, they would get it to me within the hour?
I don't know about that. But
within the hour, no, but give it a
later in the
hours.
day.
Couple hours.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not that good. It's just like,
well, like
it's pretty good.
I have never. Can I tell you what I ordered on Amazon, by the way?
Yeah.
I ordered, the little sticky pieces and the Velcro that hold up your Easy Pass in your car?
Yeah.
That's what I ordered on Amazon.
That's a great purchase.
I ordered that.
Smart purchase.
It's the only thing I've ever ordered on Amazon. Now, I'm not anti-Amazon, although
you could buy a car off Amazon.
Can you?
I think so.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do
that's
that,
sketch.
You
gotta check those Carfax reports,
listen,
buddy.
I'm a proponent of giving the local guy the buy. All right. So the Amazon thing for me is a little bit like I try not to do it if I don't have.
You're going to go to the hardware store to buy that Easy Pass. Next time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, I couldn't find the Easy Pass Velcro thing, so I did order it there, and I ordered it, and it went to my buddy's house, and I had to go to his house and go pick it up. And I was like, all right, I don't know why it's set up to go to his house. Maybe it was one of those things where he was at my house, we signed into his Amazon or something. I have no idea why that happened. But I have an Amazon gift card that is probably 5 years old. I have a Visa $100 gift card that I finally used the other night and bought some things because I was at Dick's, and I told you, when I use the gift card,
so
it's got to be the perfect purchase. It's
Pete,
something that I want to make sure, like, I'm not using it for, like, dinner. I'm not using it for food. I want something that's, like, tangible.
You want to feel it.
Yes. So he literally goes to Dick's. He's like, how about the Dick's card? That didn't work. Well, I got this other gift card I could use as well. Like, you just started, like, rolling through the Rolodex of the gift cards.
I have a $100 Visa gift card I had. No longer. I had a $50 one.
I
no
know what
longer.
car you're talking about because I spent that a very long time ago.
See, that stuff's good for gas. You need to get gas.
Exactly.
Full tank.
That's what I did. I used it for
There
gas.
you go. Hand
Boom.
it to the gas attendant.
The other
Boom.
thing that I'm very, very, very like, I got paid in cash for something that I did recently, which is odd, right? You usually don't get paid in cash. You usually get Venmo'd or
Right.
something to that effect if you're doing something that's like an independent contractor job. So I got paid in cash, and I got paid with $100 bills. Okay.
Wow.
Multiple $100 bills. So, yes, I got paid pretty well for this one job that I did. But I don't want to spend the $100 bills. I like having them. It's like if I'm going to actually break the $100 bill, it's got to be on something that's worth it.
Why don't you just put it in the bank?
It just sits in my it sits in the bank of my wallet.
Yeah, give it to the bank. Let them.
So
all
it's
do
funny
it for
because
you.
I'll be somewhere where I need $100 and I'll use my debit card for that purchase instead of breaking or handing over that $100 bill. I don't know what it is. It's the feel of having that $100 bill makes me like I have this thing, right? It's there. It's in case. That didn't work, by the way. Did you plug that in?
No.
My laptop's going to die.
Well, I gotta get on the ground.
Well, there's a reason because I was like, my laptop's telling me that it's going to die.
You have
in a second.
4%. Please plug in.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I will hold on to that $100 gift bill or the $100 gift card, and I can't even explain to you what the right purchase is. It's just that moment comes and it's like, that's the one I'm going to get to use the gift card for. Like you would think for Christmas shopping, I'm like, oh, I'll get all my Christmas shopping done. I got all these gift cards. I don't even have to spend my own money. But those gifts don't feel like I really need to use the gift card or the money for. So that being said, while go to Josh's point, he says he thinks the gift card's impersonal. I like the gift card because then I can go buy whatever I want with it. If you give me a gift card and it's only for one like spot, I feel very locked into just that
Well,
spot.
that's what I'm talking about. A lot of people will give you like a one spot gift card. They don't always give you.
Yeah, but you said the MasterCard or the Visa $100 gift card, you're anti.
Well, I'm not anti, but I do feel that there's a little impersonal element to it because it's kind of like you're kind of like basically telling people, I don't really know what to give you, but so here's money. Have fun, kid. Like it feels like, you know, that uncle you see once a year at the holidays. He just gave you
but you just answered the question. Why would an uncle you see once a year know what you really want?
Yeah.
Like you're calling that guy a jerk. You've only seen him once a year.
Well, see,
he at least thought of you enough to get you something.
Well, see, here, this is where maybe I'm part of the problem because I'm the kind of person who says, if I'm going to give somebody something, I am going to give something that's like very intimate knowledge of them. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I would never buy Mike Gill a bottle of vodka because Mike drinks craft beer. So, like, Mike,
Right.
if I was to get you something for Christmas, I'd be like, hey, Mike, I stopped by fill in the blank brewery. I know you love this beer. You know, I wanted to get you this specific beer for Christmas. Like, that's kind of how my brain functions.
Yeah, but like if there was somebody that like you knew, but you don't associate with them every single day,
I would do research.
Oh, that's going overboard. Listen, if you
Does
come
that
to a
surprise
party,
you knowing me?
No. If you ever said, hey, I got to get Mike Gill a present, not that I would be like, hey, why didn't you get me something?
I'm getting you a 6-pack or a 4-pack of
Right. Like you would say, hey, I got you like a gift card for one of the breweries, or I got you a $50 Visa or whatever. Man, like I'll spend it myself. The thoughtfulness that you gave to say I'm going to get you something is more than enough research for me. Because
That's right.
I'm not generally somebody who's going to use the card unless it's on the perfect gift here.
By the way, I got some interesting texts coming in at 609-403-0973. I want to start with this one. I like this interesting. Phyllis in Dennisville says,
I met Phyllis, by the way, at, I guess, 99 Bottles. What a delightful lady.
Phyllis says, Mike, I love a gift card, but I buy my family a gift with a gift card on top, so it's the best of both worlds. That's a fun strategy by Phyllis there.
Okay, that's going a little above and beyond, I think. I mean, I wish I had a Phyllis in my family. Right?
Yeah, I'll take one of
Here's
those.
a gift, and if you don't like what I got you, go get yourself something, right? That's essentially what she's saying. I got you something. I was thoughtful. You might not like it. So here's $50 to go get what you really want. See,
Jim,
like if somebody got,
Yeah.
you're saying you would rather have a $50 Target card
no,
than a $50 MasterCard card?
no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying like the person who gives me like the Target card or like something like that, I feel like they would just like, I got to give this guy something, and here's a card.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Because it's so easy to buy something off Target.
Because Josh,
Target.com. Boom.
but like you're explaining to everybody how difficult you actually are. So you're saying you thought of me. I'll go get my own thing.
So what you're basically saying is that I have the completely wrong approach. That's what you.
Absolutely.
Pete, do you agree with Mike?
I agree with
All right.
I think most people out there, like, here's the thing. What do you want for Christmas? This is the sad part, okay? This is honest. Here, my girlfriend, what do you want for Christmas? I have no answer, right? I don't need anything. And we all say, I don't need anything. It's not like I'm like abundantly have her, like what am I going to ask for? I want a new car, stuff like that. I mean, the simple things that you might ask for. I said to her, you know what I really need, and this is sad. This is how old I'm getting to where, like, when you would get these things when you were a kid, you would say, what the hell do I want this for? Now I'm like, you know what I really need? I could use white T-shirts. I could use new boxers. I could use
Well, then
socks,
there you go.
right? Like, these are the things that I actually did. Whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
Giftful is a good website.
What's it called?
Giftful?
I'm not familiar.
You just put a bunch of your links on this like page, and people can claim it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and buy
Did
it for
not
you.
hear that. So basically,
Yeah.
yeah, like I have a draft in my email, and it's like, here are all the links that everybody sends. It's like, okay, here's my size, here's the link, this is where you can get it, and then like basically, it's gotten to the point now where the link thing is even too much. Hey, we'll go out the same day. I'll go pay for the things that I want, then I'll give them to you to give to me.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, you're gonna do that, or you would do that?
Oh, we've already gone that. Like,
Wow.
well, like last weekend, I had the things. I said, oh, well, these are a couple things that I like. Okay, then I'll get them for you.
That's
Right?
nice. That's
Now, I'm
functional.
sure there's something in there that's going to be like a surprise. I was actually at Ocean on Monday. We were doing the show Monday, and I bought something accidentally, and I realized that it was coming from England, which I was trying to get out of it.
Yeah, did you figure that out
no,
yet? No.
So it's already been sent. It's not. I don't know if it's going to get here in time,
Well,
but it's on its way. But the shipping for it was like $40.
That's ridiculous.
Well, that's why I tried it. I didn't realize they were shipping it from England because the money wasn't in pounds; it was in dollars. Yeah.
By the way, Jim from Williamstown says, insult me, buy me a beer. Now that's personal. Says for Jim from Williamstown.
Buy him a beer.
Yeah.
Now that's the thing. Are you a beer snob, Jim, or will you drink any beer? That's
Good question.
Big thing.
That's a very
big
important thing.
Because if you buy me a sour, I'm not going to be thrilled.
Right. Mike's gonna look at you like you're nuts.
Yeah, I was.
now you could do brewery merch, right? You could do a pint glass,
Yeah.
or a little taster glass
Absolutely.
on top
Sure.
of the 4-pack or something.
I will take
Yeah.
the brewery gift card. I will take the brewery merch.
The brewery
Absolutely.
gift card is actually a very underrated gift.
It is. And the one thing is with that, if you got a $50 gift card, that could last you, the time that you're there. That's a day out right there.
That's literally like you and a friend to go out and just have an afternoon, have some drinks, and then you're good. You're happy.
Absolutely. Now, that being said, I still have Christmas shopping I have to finish. When is the cutoff that I have to order stuff online?
It depends on the, I guess, place.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, Amazon, you could do it. You can wait until December 23rd if you wanted to.
Depends on the item, though, right?
Depends on the item, right?
All right.
Target's pretty good. 2-day shipping.
I wonder how many people out there are done with the shopping. Because remember, back in the day, I would be a Christmas Eve shopper.
Really?
After, like, Christmas Eve, I'd go out. So what I would do a lot of times is I would go out and I would study all the different places. And I'd say, okay, now, because I don't feel like buying one thing today, one thing this day, and then have it all sit in my house.
Good call.
So on Christmas Eve, I would basically have the map made in my head of I need to hit this place, this place, this place, this place, this place, this place, this place. Then I come home, wrap it all. So it was like I had a whole thing.
That's the only caveat is the wrapping.
Yeah.
You got to do it all in one shot.
Not ideal.
Or you could just resort to bags.
Could do that as
Tissue
well.
paper bags, boom, here you go. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Absolutely. But those days are kind of past you now. Like, that was when I was living by myself.
Right.
Now, my girlfriend would probably have anxiety if I was like, hey, I'm doing all my Christmas shopping on the last day and I'm wrapping them all the final day. Now, do you wrap your own stuff?
Yeah.
You do?
Well, for my wife, I do,
Yeah.
obviously. Anyone else, though, I give it to her and she does.
And she does it for you.
Yeah. She says, set it out for me. Here's the tape. Here's the scissors.
Wow.
Here's the
Now,
wrapping
that's
paper.
pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a good
I'm
deal.
sitting there.
It's a good
I'm-
deal.
But some people are good at it. Some people are good at wrapping.
Of course.
They like it.
You ever meet a girl
I
who's
suck
not
at
good at rapping? Everyone I know is good at rapping.
Except
I
for
am
you.
horrible.
Yeah.
No,
I'm-
every woman.
Every woman, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Well, they have that attention, like that ability to make the perfect fold and get the perfect cut, and like
They're very caring for it.
yeah. And it's like I'm like you, Mike. I'm like a blunt instrument. I'm like I cut this
I'm-
jagged, yeah.
I'm terrible at it. I'm absolutely horrible at it. I don't enjoy it. Like, there's people that they'll get the eggnog, they'll put the music on. It's like, okay, we're gonna have a whole day of rapping. And I'm like, I'm out. I'm not interested in this day.
You're like, where's the Sixers come on?
Yeah. All right, 609-403-0973. So we got a lot out there today. You can text in throughout the show. Anything's on the table, really. It's our last full show for the Sports Bash, for me anyway. Sports Bash will be on the air here and there throughout the rest of the year. We have a couple shows left at Ocean, here at Chickies and Pete's. We're at the Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township, where there's actually pretty much a full bar right now. There's a Christmas party coming in here pretty soon. Johnny B's behind the bar. We got a whole bunch of stuff happening. And we're just having a little your favorite segments. Which team, as 2025 comes to a close, are you looking most forward to next season? Is it the Phillies with their new outfield, which is set?
And new setup man.
New setup man? Is it the Flyers who, listen, Flyers are interesting. The Flyers haven't given us a fun playoff run on the Sports Bash in quite some time. I mean, they had that year in the bubble a couple of years ago where they were the number one seed, but that didn't really
That
resonate.
wasn't fun.
No. They got knocked out in the second round. The last time the Flyers have given us a fun year was 2010. Think about that. 2010 was the last time that we really were able to get invested in a Flyers
That was
run.
the Stanley Cup run
That's it.
against the Blackhawks.
That's it. And they haven't had one since. Sixers. Is anybody excited about this Sixers team in 2026 as the calendar sets to turn? Joel Embiid the other night, 39 points. You heard what Paul Hudrick said on our show the other day. He said not only did he have 39 points, he had 14 rebounds the next game that he played, and he thought he was moving way better than he's moved all season long. And then you got the Eagles. Is there another Super Bowl run in this team? Can we be that freaking spoiled? Yeah, why not? We're not asking for anything for Christmas. Give me a Super Bowl, right? You ask me what I want for Christmas. I don't need anything. Give me a Super Bowl run. How about that? So anything's on the table. Text in 609-403-0973 as we get you on this Thursday live at Chickies and Pete's. Or stop at Chickies and Pete's and bring me a gift card.
Get him a gift card at Chickies and Pete's.
There you go.
Yep. What does the commercial say? It's always used, never returned, or something like that. All right, we're back with more Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN.
Merry Christmas from all of us at 97.3 ESPN.
Ho, ho, ho. My home for sports.
South Jersey's home for Eagles football.
know you need last-minute gifts. No judgment. Get an extra 25% off during Kohl's Friends and Family Sale and find great gifts under $20. Like something cozy, something thoughtful, something that says you planned this all along. Yep, you're just one quick trip away from checking off the last gifts on your list. Save now at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offer ends December 24th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
It's beginning to look a lot like holidays on the house at DraftKings Casino. Celebrate the season with bright lights and big wins on all of your favorite casino games. Spin more than 1,000 slots, everything from the classics to exclusive new releases, and new players get 500 spins over 10 days on your choice of cash or option slots. Download the DraftKings Casino app and sign up with code DK973. That's DK973. Then choose from 10 different cash or option slots and let it spin. In partnership with DraftKings Casino, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older, physically present in New Jersey. Eligibility restrictions apply. Non-withdrawable casino spins issued as 50 spins per day for 10 days. Valid for feature games only and expire each day after 24 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends January 25th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Just about everyone's been to Angelo's Fairmount Tavern in Atlantic City. The third-generation Mancuso family invites you to enjoy their old world ambiance and cherished family recipes. Make a special occasion an extraordinary event in Angelo's banquet room, seating up to 130 people. Angelo's old world charm and grandfather's secret gravy recipe have made the Fairmount Tavern an Atlantic City landmark since 1935. Visit angelosfairmounttavern.com.
The family's here for you. Angelo's Fairmount Tavern.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill
And it just keeps getting better.
on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, 2:30 Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. We're live at Chickies and Pete's. Go where the players go. Thursday Night Football, by the way, is a good game tonight. Rams and Seahawks.
Probably the best one of the year, right?
Probably right about that. A couple text messages. Let's go Fly, guys. Flyers play tonight, right?
Tonight at Buffalo, yeah.
That game's on Rock 104.1. Buffalo in the house. Actually, at Buffalo.
Yep.
What else we got here? Text board. Andy and Violent, Merry Christmas, Mike. Really enjoyed the segment yesterday about the NBA Cup. Agree with everything said. What a joke. Andy and Vineland. Thanks, Andy. Happy holidays and New Year to you out there as well.
You were trying to get Adam Silver to you were trying to persuade Silver to use your plan for the NBA Cup, right?
I would like to.
Yeah.
I think it would be much more entertaining.
Now, if the Knicks go on to win the East or the NBA Finals, can people look back to this NBA Cup win and say it propelled them?
I mean,
to that
sure,
win?
but we've had other NBA Cups that the two teams got knocked out in the first
True.
round. So
Right.
it's not like now. I will say, somebody brought up the point of the fact that the Pacers made it to the finals of the NBA Cup the one year and then got to the NBA Finals the next year. It was
Right,
like
that's
the
correct.
next year that
The
teams
next
that got
year,
to the
yeah.
NBA Cup. It
Right.
kind of like Oklahoma City, I think, got to the NBA Cup
Because that was the year the
So-
Pacers, I think they lost to the Lakers
in the NBA Cup Finals.
in the NBA Cup. Yeah.
Listen, I haven't met one person. Now, I take that back. McGarry was on the other day, and he did say that the intensity, and I have heard this, that the intensity of the games were very good, and I'm not debating that. I did not watch them, and
Does
I
it-
am an NBA fan.
Does
I
it
watch
give them
a lot
a
of
head
NBA.
start to playing intense basketball over some of these other teams that aren't
Well,
playing
the Knicks play tonight, and then they have this is
Sixers
what the
tomorrow
Knicks
night.
have been greeted with. You have to play 2 extra games, and now after you play Tuesday night in a high-intensity championship-level game, now you have to go to Indiana and play the Pacers on Thursday, and then the Friday you have to play the Sixers on a back-to-back. Congratulations. Against a Sixer team and Pacers team that haven't played in a week.
Yeah.
So, listen, they got to tweak it. They got to fix it. And listen, I heard Brian Windhorst on a podcast, and he brought up that, in Europe, this is something that's normal, and they all, play in these other leagues, and there's all these championships, yada, yada, yada. And that maybe 25 years from now, we're looking at this thing as it's grown and it's a little different. I don't think that's going to be the case. I might be wrong. In 25 years, I'll be almost 70 years old, so I probably will not have a different view on it. But I think the most telling part is this. I am 48. It doesn't do anything for me. Earnshaw's in his mid-20s. It doesn't do anything for him.
That's telling.
Berardis is what, 22?
Yep.
He doesn't care about it, right? Josh is like 30-something. You don't care about it. Pete, you are what,
42.
40-something?
Yeah.
So you're in your early 40s. You don't care about it.
Nope.
So we're spanning age groups from all over the place, and nobody that it's not like the young guys are saying, you guys are wrong, you old heads. They don't like
It's
it.
because it's regular season basketball.
But it's not
That's
just
what it
that.
is.
It's the fact that what Mike has brought up before numerous times. Mike, you've been saying this for 2-3 years now, which is you have to give people some sort of value they can wrap their head around, like saying, hey, you're going to win this cup, or they do this in Europe. That's not incentive for a me or a you or a Nick or an Alex or a Pete to tune into the game. There's got to be something on the line. And I think that's why, for me, I like your idea about the postseason, because it's like, okay, I can wrap my head around the idea of why I should tune into this instead of watching my
because
favorite show on Netflix on a Tuesday
It's
night.
mid-December and no one cares.
But
Right.
by the way, Tyrell, who's doing the he produces the YouTube video, he's 24 and he says it doesn't do anything for him either. So
Because
th-
there's no value attached to it.
well, they would say the value is that you're winning this cup.
Yeah, that's called created value. That's like giving a participation trophy out.
And the players win $500,000, which the fans don't care about.
Well, we don't care
That's
about that.
That's your disconnect. Your disconnect is you've created a monetary victory for the players.
How
and
about
the
this?
fans don't care about that at all.
You want the fans to care? Say that the winning team, their fans get money.
I said the first year
Like
Remember
a nice
this?
little promo code to
Well,
Yeah.
remember the first year I said this. The team that wins the NBA Cup, the season ticket holders get a free year of season tickets so that they don't have to pay for the season tickets.
But now you're taking money out of the owner's pocket.
Not really, because most of their money comes from the TV contracts.
No. The $500,000, instead of giving it to the players, take that pool of money and cover the fans' tickets for them, for that team. Like at the Knicks, they're still making the money. They're just making it from the NBA.
Right, they're just doing it for the NBA instead of from Joe Smith.
Right. Joe's not writing the check now. The NBA is. So whatever whoever has season tickets that year, you get season tickets for the next year paid for.
So
now the fans would be into it because they're saying, I want my season tickets for free.
Who would oppose that idea?
Nobody with half a brain.
Exactly. Right. No,
Which is
nobody,
why
somebody has to.
Nobody who understands marketing. Because at the end of the day, marketing and advertising and promotion is all about why should I choose your product over something else?
Right. If I said, listen, the NBA Cup championships, this is for the fans. This cup is for the fans.
Right. Cleveland, this is for you.
Right? And the winning team every year, if you get season tickets and you have season tickets for the 2025-2026 season, and your team wins the NBA Cup, the league will cover your season tickets for 2026, 2027. So, like if Pete G, you had a season ticket package this year, you would get another one next year on the house.
I'll take that.
Exactly. You're making the cup for the fans. That would be the differentiator of saying, why do I care about this? No, you care about this because your team can take care of season tickets. Now, I don't have season tickets, so it doesn't do anything for me.
No, but what
doesn't do anything for the players either, though.
The players can still get their money, too. You can find a sponsor to throw some money in a pot for the players.
How much money do you think, let's say, the Sixers make on season tickets?
I can look it up.
Like, what is a season ticket? Because there's various prices. You know, you could be Nicky nosebleeds and cheap seats Pete and buy seats up in the nosebleeds. That's not the same price as that guy that sits on the court
next to Josh Harris.
Right next to Josh Harris. What's he spending on those things? I bet you that guy spends an upwards of six figures, not seven figures.
So I just looked it up. According to Forbes, the 76ers generate an average between 117 and 122 million per year in ticket sales.
Wait. 117
to 122 million a year
in
ticket sale revenue.
But that's not season tickets.
No, but this is gate receipts. So this is how much money they generate per game. And
117 million per game?
No. So they take the number per game and they added up all the gate receipts for the year.
So 41 games.
That's actually less than I would have thought. But right, but that's not telling me how much money they make off season ticket holders. I don't know how many season ticket holders they have, but what the season ticket holders pay every year, I got to imagine if every player is making $500,000, which that's what every player gets, right? At $500,000 in this NBA Cup?
Yeah. The winners.
So there's 12 guys on the team. Actually, I think there's 15 on the roster, right? They all get the $500,000. I know the coach gets $500,000 too. I don't know about the assistant coaches all the way down the line, but let's just say they're giving out $500,000. That's $10 million.
So according
now you said $117 million for ticket sales for the entire year.
So really quick. So the Sports Business Journal says that there's the information for NBA season tickets are not public, but if you were, again, this is according to them, if you were to subtract the 117 million from the total gross amount, which is the total revenue at minimum is 371, you can kind of guesstimate that it's probably the season ticket number falls in between the 371 and the 117.
Right. So whatever it is, I would think $10 million, which seems like what they have set aside for the team that wins the NBA Cup.
Right.
I would imagine $10 million is probably somewhere around what they make for the season tickets. And if they have to pump that up to 25 million or whatever, listen, no one's crying boo-hoo that, hey, you won the NBA Cup. We're giving this team $10 million. Now we're going to direct it to the franchise. and pay for everybody's season tickets. Give us the list of people whose season tickets we have to pay for. We'll pay the bill. You guys, congratulations. And then make it for the fans. Make the cup for the fans. Now, I talked about this a couple of years ago.
Make it literally for the fans.
Exactly. The NBA Cup is for the fans. And then you would get people, I think, to be more into it because, oh, God, I got season tickets this year. I can get them for next year and not have to pay for them.
But also, like Pete said, there's a way you could do it. So, like, even if you're a non-season ticket holder and they can do a geofence thing, right? They can pick your IP address, right? And you could be like, hey, if you're a Sixers fan, but you're not a season ticket holder, maybe you get $50 to Chick-fil-A or something.
That sounds like a gift card.
Well, listen, if anyone's going to be impersonal, it's a corporation that makes billions of dollars, right?
Probably. I would go and say yes to that. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. And it's kind of like smorgasbord here. You got Phillies questions, Sixers question, Eagles, Flyers, anything you want. Anything's on the table. This is the Sports Bash final show of 2025. We are off tomorrow. Everybody is off tomorrow. We're all taking the day off tomorrow. And then Monday, Josh and Pete will be over at Ocean. Pete's in Atlantic City. Then Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, the day after Christmas, we'll be off. And then the final week after that, Monday and Tuesday, Ocean, Chickies, and Pete's. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be off. So the show will be back on January the 5th. So whatever you want to text in today, favorite guest, favorite segments, anything in general, we're going to have a little fun throughout the course of the day. We do have Evan Cohen will be on tonight's show at 5 o'clock from Unsportsmanlike. Looking forward to talking to Evan the final time of 2025. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, it's the final football at 4 with Andrew DeCecco. Also, we've got a little combination of Pete's Pizza and Josh's Jerky today. There are no nuggets.
Got a couple slices for you.
Nuggets are off today. Called out sick. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it, actually.
All right, we'll come back. Nick Sirianni getting ready for the Eagles and the Commanders. You'll hear what he had to say about that game, the matchup. What about Lane Johnson? We saw Lane Johnson on the Hard Knocks the other night. What kind of updated information does Nick Sirianni have on Lane Johnson? Will he play?
I saw the Hard Knocks, actually. I got to mute my TV. Sirianni was dropping some F-bombs left and right. Man, in that meeting, wasn't he?
Hopefully he doesn't drop any F-bombs during his presser today. That's next. This is the Sports Bash.
Bowl season is coming your way. Catch the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl when North Carolina State from the ACC faces Memphis from the American. Join us from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Friday on this Coca-Cola Bowl season radio station.
It's college bowl season on 97.3 ESPN. Your home for the College Football National Championship game. Coverage begins tomorrow afternoon, 2:30.
Brought to you by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. Nick Sirianni, we're going to get to his presser in just a second here. He's asked about Washington having a down year. That's always an interesting question to hear how they tiptoe around a team that stinks like a pair of athletic sweat socks. You also have him getting asked about Lane Johnson, whether or not he will be ready to play, Tank Bigsby, whether his role will expand, and more. Here is the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni, in his Friday presser.
Washington is having a down year of injuries and such, but when you dove into the tape this week as you prep for the game, what are some things that stepped out, that stood out to you guys that could pose some problems?
Yeah, they got a lot. I got a lot of respect for, their coaching staff. They've done a lot of respect for the players that you see year in, year out, that you go against. Like, they got a lot of good players and they got great coaches. And, they've had some tough games, tight games that they've lost, and they've played really good. They've done a lot of good things. So, got a lot of respect for this team.
Following up with Jalen attack the process of the mechanics of under center starting around Minnesota week. how have you kind of saw him attack that in the middle of the season, kind of expanding that, and how he can,
As far as the
process of playing that and kind of.
Yeah, again, he'll do everything he can do to help himself get better at everything that he works at. So, I've seen a lot of hard work of, things that like that, and that's just who Jalen is. He's going to attack every process with great focus, with great energy, with great detail to become the best football player he possibly can. You always admire that from him.
Nick, following up with Washington having a down year, they have allowed the 5th most rushing yards per game. With Jalen having the success that he did last game running the ball, what opportunity does that present for him on the ground in this matchup?
Yeah. Again, you always look at a tape and when you go through your process of how you want to attack, what's good for your guys, what your guys do well, all those different things, how do you mesh things together? And so there's some different ways we want to attack. We know that we have to execute. We don't have to adjust as coaches and as the game goes on to give our guys the best chance to succeed. So, there's going to be multiple different ways we try to attack. If that's one of them is that way, then it'll be that way. But we feel good about the plan going in, but we're going to have to go. We're going to naturally see some things that we didn't expect. We'll have to adjust, and the guys will have to execute.
How do you feel about the opportunity to win a second division title in a row?
Yeah, that it's just the next game right here. It's just the next game, and we know we know it's an opportunity to win the division, and we'll cross, as my dad used to always say, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm excited to be able to go out and play football and coach football, and get an opportunity for us to get better against a well-respected opponent.
What have you seen from Tank Bigsby? He seems to, he obviously got a lot of carries in the last game and everything, but it seems like he's becoming more and more of a part of the offense. What are you kind of seeing from him?
Yeah, I think we obviously try to get him carries as the game, goes, and how the game goes dictates how many carries he gets. But we just feel like he practices with great energy, and then you see that in game day. He plays with great energy, and I think he does a really good job of. He gets so much energy when he makes a play, and every run he runs hard, and but that's a result of who he is week in, week out. What you guys don't get to see is throughout the practice. So it's how he practices, how he goes about his business. So love what he brings to our football team.
What was the thought process between not putting him on IR when the injury happened?
Yeah, we'll see where we are. By the end of, we still got a little time to see what's going on this week. So we'll see what happens. Every case you think through differently, individually, and you never put anything past Lane. But at the end of the day, we'll do what's best for Lane and what the doctors feel like is best for Lane. When he plays and everything like that.
You have some players who haven't been in a clinching type situation before. Do you enjoy watching those players experience that?
Yeah, again, what we think about is this next game and our preparation for this game. There hasn't been a lot of talk about, hey, this is an opportunity to do this. This is an opportunity to go play a well-respected opponent on Saturday at 5:00. So we're excited about that opportunity and there. I always find joy in guys that get to experience things like that. But we gotta go do it, right? We gotta go play a good game. We gotta go coach a good game, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And excited to go play this week.
It seems like having Britton back returning punts has added another element, especially when you guys are keeping you guys from being so backed up. What led to kind of holding off on putting him back out there until now? Yeah,
he's doing a really good job now, and he's been consistently doing a good job with that part. He brings a lot to us, and just excited that he's back out there ripping it. There's always things with the roster that sometimes that you're able to do and you're able not to do. So we're just excited that he's back there right now. And, we know he gives us a spark in that area.
How have you seen Jordan Mailata make an impact as a leader this season, especially when there's so many young guys like Miles Cameron and that Drew Kendall in that room?
Yeah, he cares so deeply about his teammates. And he's such a good example with how he works and and how he's developed. And the man never played football before, and now he's, this guy was fifth or sixth year starting, and has had a lot of success, contracts, accolades, all these different things. So he's a great example. And then it really goes down to how much he cares about people, his teammates, his coaches, his people in the building. He's a special dude.
Hard Knocks, we saw the excitement about the play design on the final touchdown. What in particular about that play design exciting?
I was excited about the touchdown. Jalen threw a great ball, and it was great, go out there and it works, and you score a touchdown. You get excited about that. There's no doubt.
Sirianni, by the way, that Hard Knocks, did you see that play where he rips the touchdown throw to A.J. Brown, and he's like, you like that play design? Who do you think designed the play?
I would say Nick Sirianni.
I think
you think he was puffing his chest out to Jalen Hurts?
And I think Jalen went back and said, well, I executed it, buddy. So there we go.
I don't know. I was wondering if Jalen was like, hey, coach, what do you think about this? And he's like, you know what? Yeah, Kevin, why don't you run this?
Well, that's the old Nick Foles, Philly.
You do hear Sirianni throughout on the Hard Knocks from time. This is the second week I've heard him do it, where they've run the ball well, and he'll say, keep pounding them. And good stuff there from the Hard Knocks. This was not a great Hard Knocks again, but at least gave you a little bit this time around. All right, coming up in the next hour, we want to get into just a little bit of everything. It's our final sports bash for me of 2025. All right, live at a Chickies and Pete's on a Thursday. This is the final show for me this year. Merry Christmas, everybody. You don't have to listen to me the next couple days.
That could be the best gift of all for some people.
Many people out there, I'm sure, are rejoicing. I am off. I'll be back on January the 5th. The guys will take you from now till then. Sports Bash is on location at Chickies and Pete's. I feel like a lot of people are off today. I mean, there's people just pouring in here. I'd like to know what's going on at some of these tables here. They got beers. They're ready to go. What time is it? 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
3 o'clock, 3:02.
All right, so we've been having some fun today. Final show of the year for me. You guys can text in just rando questions. Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, basically anything. Happy hour Friday picks. You want to have a little happy hour Friday today? We could do that as well. Favorite guests, favorite segments, text those in. 609-403-0973. If you have a favorite guest that you love hearing from, if you have a favorite segment each and every day, you can tell us a guest that you don't like. Right? I'll let that person know.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a very Scrooge-like of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, it's a 4-hour show. We do our best to try to make you enjoy the entire 4 hours. Like, there's one guy, he texts in, he don't like nuggets. And one of the things that, he said, like, Nuggets brought up yesterday that one of his nuggets was that Nick Castellanos' wife responded to something on Twitter. And that guy said, nobody cares. To which I said, listen, I'm 48 years old. I don't care. But I'm not dumb enough to realize that there are people out there who do care. And therefore, I'd be dumb if I turned my back on those people. So even though I don't care, it doesn't mean that I'm not cognizant enough that other people do care about that. Right? Like, there's things that don't interest me, but I know interest other people. And therefore,
it's to each his own, right?
Like I've said many times, I could care less about any of like the whole social media scrubs or posting stuff on social media, or they posted like, Lane Johnson last week posted a picture of his eyes just blinking, that emoji. Did anybody ever find out what that meant? Like, was there any update on, hey, Lane, why did you post a pair of eyes on your Twitter?
He still hasn't practiced. We're still waiting for him to get back to practice.
He has not practiced. You just heard what Nick Sirianni said. He was asked about whether or not, they didn't put him on the IR. He said, we'll see where we are by the end. We've still got a little time to see what's going on this week. Now, there was a report. I don't know how many people saw this on Sunday. Ann Rappaport put this out on Sunday, and it was that he was planning on practicing this week. That has not happened yet, right? He has not been back to practice, and that his hope was that he would play either this week against the Commanders or next week against Buffalo. Now, it doesn't look like that is happening.
And someone asked Sirianni, how come he didn't put him on IR? Because he would have been eligible to come off IR this weekend.
I think it would have been next week, actually.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean.
They could have put him on IR. They didn't.
Yeah, and I guess when they said Liz Frank, most of us thought that it was
season ending
at the end of the year. Yeah. And I don't know if you watched the Hard Knocks the other night, it didn't look like it looks like he's close to coming back.
Yeah, he looks pretty big. For those who didn't see it, he was working out in the barn as he always does, the famous workout barn he has out there at his house. So, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm with you, Mike. I think the audience, anyone who watched it, he looks like he's pretty darn close.
Corey from Woodbine says, Merry Christmas. Have an awesome holiday. Thanks for being there to help us through the workday. My favorite segment is when you guys are at Radio Row.
There you go.
This year, it's for the Birds-Bills Super Bowl. That's from Corey in Woodbine. The Radio Row segments is one of our favorite weeks of the year. It's really it's a 3-day grind. It sounds like it's a lot of fun, and it is. Like, it's fun putting those shows together. But it is definitely different doing the show there than, even being at Chickies and Pete's, which isn't, usually being on the road, being on location is a lot different than when I'm in the studio. There's no question about that.
That Radio Row is like a see and be seen kind of event. I mean, it's
very distracting.
It's fast paced. It's hustle and bustle. But
Radio Row is also probably like the most chaotic like few days of like our year.
Right, because what happens is I'll start to get emails like during the playoffs from like the PR people.
Right.
You know, they know they have guests that are going to be out on Radio Row. They'll start sending me emails. Hey, we're going to be there on these 4 days. Are you going to be there on any of these days? This is who we have. These are the times. And then, of course, like this year, for instance, the Super Bowl's in Santa Clara, San Francisco. So we're going to be on a 3-hour different time. So that's always confusing because now I'm trying to think, you know, my show's 2 to 6. Well, out there, the show is now at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Or 11 o'clock in the morning. And so when they're saying, hey, you know, that time change always is like, oh, wait, what? And then, you know, so you're trying to do that. And then a lot of the times, a little peek behind the curtain, some of those interviews are pre-recorded in the morning because that's where it's tough for us. So they might say, hey, I have Emmitt Smith. Now, Emmitt Smith we actually had live last year.
Yeah.
But let's just use Emmitt Smith as an example. The PR person might say, hey, I have Emmitt Smith, but they're only available at 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, we're not live at 9 o'clock in the morning, but we're also not going to say no to Emmitt Smith. So we have to get to the broadcast location and get ready by 9 o'clock in the morning, even though our show doesn't start till 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Which also means you can't go to Bourbon Street and stay out till 3 in the morning.
Exactly. So for the people who think we're out there having a blast, it's not quite that.
Well, it's not just you guys. For the audience doesn't know, Mike has to message me and be like, yo, this guy is coming in early to record. You, Josh, got to make sure you're at the studio early too to make sure we can record the interview.
Well,
so
and people always will ask, how come Josh is never out on the locations? Because for these reasons, that type of situation, he's got to be back there to record things like that and play those things and do all the things on the back end that really no one else other than Nuggets, Alex a little bit is learning, know how to do, but not to that level. Like if we're recording a whole day worth of shows,
right?
Radio Row is very, very challenging.
And then what
to
happens?
Piece it all together.
And then what happens is sometimes you'll piece together the afternoon, right? Like you'll record like 3 interviews earlier in the day, but then we might be playing one of the recorded interviews, and then Mike reaches out to me. He's like, "Hey, can you shuffle things around because so and so just walk up to the table randomly?"
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
those situations too.
I will say Josh is his own worst enemy because Josh basically knows how to do everything. I can ask any question without reason, not within reason, with no reason. I'll just say, I know that he'll figure it out. So I'm going to say, hey, Emmitt Smith is sitting here. And what happens is, I'm glad that guy brought this up. You know, Corey, by the way,
Corey and Woodbine.
Corey and Woodbine.
Shout out to Woodbine, by the way, Western Cape County folk.
2 things. 1, I'm glad he brought this up because it's cool to like let the listeners in on this a little bit. But 2, the fact that he appreciates the fact that we do put in a lot of effort to put those shows on. It's not easy. And not every station in the country goes there. I mean, heck, the Philadelphia stations don't even go. We go because of Corey and Woodbine. Like, I hope there are more Coreys that like that week of shows, because once we went out there and the reaction that we had gotten was, hey, people just like to hear people that they would not normally hear, whether the Eagles are playing in the Super Bowl or not. You know, we've had so many unbelievable guests that just happen to be there. You know, the one year we had Malcolm Jenkins on, and he talked about being a free agent and how he wanted to come back. We had Fletcher Cox on. We had Britton Covey on the year after the Eagles had that collapse. We had Torrey Smith last year. He was unbelievable talking about playing on the 2017 Eagles team. We have Jason Wirth just happened to be there last year. So Corey and Woodbine, thank you for acknowledging that you like those shows so that, you know, it makes us feel like we're doing it for a reason. But that being said, the time change in those shows is definitely a challenge.
And this year is going to be the extra challenge.
Well, we did Phoenix a couple of years ago. That was, I believe, the same time. No, we did Vegas.
Vegas was the same time.
Was the same time. Phoenix was a 2-hour difference.
2-hour difference.
Last year was 3. a 1 hour difference.
Last year wasn't too bad. It was just like 1 hour off.
Yeah, the 1 hour is not as bad. I'll tell you what's always, it just happens every year too. the NBA trade deadline happens when we're on Radio Row all the time. Now, the Sixers didn't really do much last year, but the 1 year, I guess they did, they made a trade or something, but that's always out there. But the time difference makes it weird with that whole situation. But, I remember you're trying to schedule, and what happens is.
By the way, that Thursday, February 5th, 2026, NBA trade deadline.
Is what day?
Thursday, February 5th.
There you go. And the Sixers are playing the Warriors this year on Tuesday the 3rd. So we're all going to that game. Now, that's another thing that happens while we're out there is you pre-schedule a lot of these interviews leading up to it. So I might say, okay, I have so-and-so set for this time, so-and-so set for that time, so-and-so set for that time. And then you get there, and that person never shows up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, my God. Like last year, Bernie Kosar is one of my favorite players of all
this
time.
Was ridiculous.
And Bernie didn't show up for the interview.
No call, no show, no nothing.
But I'm always skeptical of booking the interviews that far in advance because I feel like it gives people time to either forget that they did it or they're just tired of doing interview after interview after interview. And then by the time it's like, hey, Thursday at 5:00, I've done 14 of these today. I don't want to do this.
But see, here's my problem with the whole thing. And that is, this is a total Joshism where it's like, if you book a guest, you're the PR person, you reach out to Mike Gill in early January, you book a guest, and then the guest is scheduled, and then you don't tell Mike Gill, hey, so-and-so is not going to be able to make it.
That does happen.
And then we're sitting around and waiting. I am such a hater of the passive-aggressive, no communication. Tell me yes. Tell me no. Tell me what's going on. Over-communicate. Tell me to go to hell. Do something. Don't be the person who just no call, no shows.
By the way,
yeah.
That does happen a lot. Where
in the moment, it's kind of tough to take time and worry about what Josh Henning thinks of you.
I think it's about the person who scheduled the interview.
But when you're the PR person for Emmitt Smith, they could care less about no
But see, it's a bad look for
them.
It's a bad look for them because what you're doing is you're hurting your relationship for future guest booking. So, for example, I don't want to name a
but for every Josh Henning, there's a Ted Turner out there wanting to get Emmitt Smith on.
Yes, but my point is that if that same person reaches out to us, right, and they have a lesser guest than Emmitt Smith, they're trying to book. But we already know that person has a reputation of booking guests and the guests not delivering. Now it's going to hurt that person's ability to book with us.
Well, I will say one of the more challenging things out there is you're doing an interview. So-and-so's walking around with their PR person.
Right.
The PR person walks up to, say, Pete or Nick, who are kind of our, on-site producers. Hey, I have so-and-so. Do you want to talk to them? And you're like, no, I don't. So you're constantly like, oh, I really don't have a spot here because, I don't really want to talk to your guest. Or, hey, I see Emmitt Smith is behind your guy, and I'm really trying to get Emmitt Smith to
him,
come on.
not your guy.
Yeah. That happens. That does happen a lot, though, does it not?
There's also the exchange rate, right? Sometimes, for example, Mike's trying to get a certain guest, and Mike will come to me. He's like, hey, Josh, would you mind interviewing this secondary guest so I can get the primary guest for the Sports Bash? We've had that situation happen, too.
Yeah, well, there are times where
there's a lot of brokering.
They might have somebody that, is on it. Quite frankly, too, there are times where I might have done 2 or 3 pre-recorded interviews, and I just want to break. I want to go grab breakfast or something, and I'll say, hey, Josh, I'm going to give you so-and-so to talk to for your show just because I don't feel like doing a 4th or a 5th interview. I want to go get some lunch or something. So Corey and Woodbine, good tech.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. This one's from Jeff in O City. He says, I like the Fine 5, Ugly 5, and Knicks Nuggets. Yeah, Fine 5, Ugly 5. We always have a good time doing that. Who's in, who's out. The who's in, who's out is always the fun one where it's you think that it's so easy just picking the 14 playoff teams, right?
Yeah.
Like, try to do it this week. You think there's 3 weeks left in the season that you would be able to figure out who's going to make the playoffs, but you simply can't. The Fine Five, Ugly Five are the 5 best and the 5 worst teams in the league. And I guess, by the way, there's no show tomorrow. We'll do a Friday 5 today. How's that?
Yes.
Okay.
Brought to you by Jersey Cow.
That's right. All right, 609-403-0973. A lot of text messages here. I like this one. I like this one. I think the video producer Tyrell should have his own segment in the new year and give his NFL takes. Is that from you, Tyrell?
I was going to say, is that from Tyrell? Can we check if that's his text message number?
I mean, I have his number, although I got a funny story about that.
Tenders.
Tyrell's Tenders. That would be a good one. Tyrell sends me a text message, and his name comes up something weird. And where were we? We're in Florida. And I said, who is so-and-so? And he's like, that's me. And then he got a new phone, and it was saying Tyrell's name. But then he was texting me from a number, and the number's coming up. And I'm like, and was asking me like not personal questions about me, but like about the show or something. And I'm like, who is this? Like, something's up with his phone number. Okay. He's like, oh, I just went to the store and got a new phone. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm like, he is in a text chain with me and 2 other people, but his name comes up Tyrell in that one. But in the one that he sends to me just by himself, it just comes up as a number.
That's
and
interesting.
It's weird. So I was like, why are you asking me? Like, it was like for my email password or something. And I'm like,
and you're like real suspicious now.
Exactly. It wasn't like, hey, what's the whatever. It's like, what's the login information, for the back end for the video side. And I'm like, who is this?
You're like, who is this person asking me this question?
All right. What else we got on the text board here?
Oh, we got plenty of texts. I see one person text. Terry in Galloway says John McMullen is the most condescending person I've ever heard.
It's funny. John is that kind of guy. You either like him or you don't, because he's very matter of fact. He's not sugarcoating things to tell you what you want to hear. I will say.
And he is very in tune, right? I mean, so he knows a lot, so he can kind of.
He has been around the team
Yeah.
since however long. He's one of my dad's favorite guests.
I mean, he's been covering the team longer than I've been working with you, Mike.
Well, John, the background on John, he worked for an outlet called the Sports Network.
Right.
And, man, we used to have a guest on by the name of Tony Moss. Anybody remember Tony?
Remember him?
Tony was the sports director at Sports Network, the NFL. He was the NFL editor. And we would basically kind of do a one thought every game almost type of segment with Tony. And then John took over for him. Then John and I created the Football at 4. John said to me, hey, let's do a football segment and every day. And I said, you think we can really talk football every single day? Like the whole year? You're cool with that? He's like, I think so. So John and I are, really John came up with the thought of coming on every day to do Football at 4. So John indirectly started the Football at 4, and then we put that together. And then when John moved on and got busier, we switched to the Inside the Birds guys who took over Football at 4. And John, of course, still appears on the show. I appear on his show. But John's got a style that's probably not for everybody. I don't,
I was saying, what's interesting is Terry for Galloway goes on to say, but I really enjoy when you have someone from the Eagles' opponents' markets on each week. So he gave you a good and a bad.
Yeah, that's our outside view segment that we generally try. And listen, I used to be the Believe in Eagles host, so I formulated a good relationship with Believe, who has, for the Eagles, they had me doing it. For most teams, they have like a former player. And a lot of times those former players give us the insight on those teams. BC and Bowers Beach says Sal Pal Fridays.
Or Sal Pal any days.
Yeah, no Sal Pal this week. I actually did text him yesterday to see if he wanted to switch to today. He is traveling today, so he was unable to do it. Merry Christmas, guys. Love Nuggets. He is a fun to pick on. My favorite segment is One Thought Every Game. Chris in Delaware.
Casey Jordan tonight, 5:25.
5 o'clock tonight. You'll get One Thought Every Game. Chris in Delaware. What else we got?
We also got Jack K. Courthouse says, Mike McGarry is not my favorite. I think it's more of his voice reminding me of the New York people. He says the worst segment is when is when Josh used to do Weinberg Wednesdays.
Bummer. Well, you don't have the Weinberg Wednesday anymore. McGarry, yes, he's got that New York kind of North Jersey drawl to him. Schwab.
Yeah, Kyle Schwab. Yeah.
But I'll tell you, when Mike and we were just kind of, I think we were at like a high school basketball game or something. So maybe a high school baseball game. He was calling with me somewhere, and we just said, hey, what if we did this a couple days a week? And then he ended up, I bumped into him someplace else, and he ended up saying to me, I can't believe how many get from coming on the segment. So that's when we expanded it to a couple days a week instead of just the 1 day a week that it started on. And Mike and I get along great. There's a lot of times if you see us at a high school football or basketball event that we are battling and arguing because we don't agree on a lot of things sometimes. But it's turned into a fun segment. We like that as well.
Really quick, Jack from KB Cortez also says, I love Southbound Fridays, and Jeff Mosher is very knowledgeable.
All right, Jack, thank you there.
I like this whole giving us a little good, a little bit of bad mix in here.
Yeah, well, we said, what's your favorite segment, your favorite guest, your favorite segment, maybe a guest you don't like, maybe a segment you don't like, because guess what? After the new year is when we start to kind of, change a couple things. We always make a couple tweaks. We always make a couple changes. Today's a good day.
You can't run it back every year like the Phillies, right? You got to make those tweaks.
I'm going to find my Adolis Garcia out there. I need a little bit of a change. So your favorite segments, your favorite guests, your least favorite guests, your least favorite segments, you can throw them all out there. All that and more. Plus, we got One Thought Every Game tonight, 5:30. Evan Cohen tonight at 5 o'clock. Football at 4. Football at 4 has been going on. Man, that thing has been. Were you here for Football at 4?
Yeah, I think so. Since Reed was here, you think? Chip
I
Kelly?
don't remember when we started it. All right. More Sports Bash coming up, 97.3 ESPN.
Merry Christmas from all of us at 97.3 ESPN.
Tune in to the best station on the North Pole.
South Jersey's home for Eagles football.
Ready to make this holiday unforgettable? Get to Robert's Fine Jewelers to finish checking off those wish lists. Diamond studs, diamond rings, diamond necklaces, diamond tennis bracelets, and gemstone jewelry. Every kind of sparkle you can imagine. All at incredible holiday savings. 12-month interest-free financing available. Don't hesitate. The perfect sparkle gift is waiting right now. Make this the biggest holiday ever at Robert's Fine Jewelers, the Plaza at Center Point in Northfield. The holiday of sparkle starts here. Online at robertsfinejewelers.com.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even I added too much water to the pizza dough day?
Yep.
How about getting a call from my daughter to pick her up at the airport because her boyfriend is unreliable day?
Especially that day.
What about finding out that one of my pipes suddenly burst in my basement day?
Progressive has every day covered 24/7 with the Home and Auto Bundle. Also, you have a lot of bad days.
Oh no, that was all the same day.
At least you're covered with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Keeping the fans entertained and happy.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's, that's where we are. Egg Harbor Township tonight. You got a good one. Rams and Seahawks. You can listen to the game on 97.3 ESPN. Flyers and Sabres tonight on Rock 104.1. This hour is brought to you by Broadleaf's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your trusted source for heating, plumbing, service, and installation for generations. 609-390-3907, online, broadleafs.net. We're having a little fun today, and we're getting your feedback. Favorite guests, favorite segments, least favorite guests, least favorite segments, stuff like that. Any questions are wide open today. Josh is compiling the text messages back there at the studio. If you're listening on the free mobile app, if you're watching on the X platform or on YouTube. I see this one from Jeff. He says, I'm a big fan of the live broadcast. I visited the Sports Bash. It's so many spots. Some I remember: Garden State Brewery, Slack Tide, Maynard's, Anchorage, Charlie's, Tuckahoe Inn, Fanatics Sportsbook, Chickies and Pete's, which is where we are every Thursday. You know, we've been coming to Chickies and Pete's back on the 1450 AM days. We came to Chickies and Pete's. You know, when we switched over to the FM was 2009.
I was here for that one.
We switched over June the 6th, I think, of 2009. We were doing remember we used to do the Eagles player show from this Chickies and Pete's right here in Egg Harbor Township. We did it from the front up there I think it was Monday nights or Tuesday
nights. Right. Omar Gaither was a guest.
Gaither, Danny Watkins. We had a bunch of different guys that were the co-hosts on those shows with us. But yeah, all those places, you know, a lot of them 99 bottles we've been out to, the draft parties. Who remembers this? This is back when the Sixers first started the process. and we did a Sixers season ticket giveaway. You got season tickets to the Sixers, and every single qualifier, we took 76 qualifiers, and every single person got a pair of tickets to a game, and then the winner won season tickets.
I do remember that giveaway.
That was probably 2013, 2014, some time back during those process years. We used to get pretty creative, and the Sixers used to be able to do a lot more with us. And I remember, I guess it was 2018, 2019, when the Sixers won 52 games. And I said something to the effect of like, hey, can we do something like that where we give away the season tickets? And they kind of were like, yeah, that's not going to work this time because the season ticket demand was so great that they were like, we can't even part with giving away a package because their season ticket sales were so unbelievable. So just a couple of things. Jeff's a great listener, by the way. Jeff's one of them guys. He comes out, says hello at a lot of the events, and has been a big part of the happy hour Fridays. I love when people have recommended stuff on Happy Hour Friday, and then, like, on a Friday, I'll go on my way home, stop somewhere, and pick up some of the recommendations. The amount of great suggestions that I have gotten over the years since we started the Happy Hour Friday. There are some people who aren't even sports fans that say they tune in on Fridays just to hear some of the suggestions that we make for Happy Hour. Yeah, absolutely.
See, that's making your mark in the community, man. People know to go to you, like the guy at Chickies and Pete's.
As soon as I walked in here today.
He says, did you check out our new beer on tap?
Yep. And there's a new brewery that's opening this weekend, which I'm going to try to make every effort to get to. This is my last day of work for the year.
Time.
I have the time. I'm going to go try to check it out. All right, Josh, what else we got?
JD in the Villa says, favorite guest you have on is Dave Gallagher. He's such a great knowledge of the game, and I love hearing his baseball stories.
Dave Gallagher, who played for the Phillies in 1995, played 9 years in the majors, is a guy who listened to the show, right? I mean, he lives in Cape May and listened to the show. And I said, how cool is it that this guy who played in the majors for 9 years listened to the show and then actually kind of agreed with some of my baseball thoughts? And I said, you know what? The guy played in the league. I should get him on to talk about his experiences and stuff. He keeps in touch, in tune with the Phillies and stuff. And I agree I think Dave tells great stories. He's so knowledgeable about the game. It is so cool to have his insight and have it be a part of our shows during the baseball season. So good text message.
Rico chimes in, Mike, without a doubt, your best segment always is Sal Powell. He says, I love your current cast with Josh and PG, but what is Todd Rank up to lately?
I was out with Todd Rank he was here in Atlantic City a couple weeks ago. PG didn't show up that night.
No, I didn't.
We all went to
I blew you off.
Yeah, we went to Ocean and had a little fun. Todd, Pete, and I go and travel together every March to Philly spring training, and we have a very unique text chain.
Yes, very funny text chain.
Yep, it was it's virtually every day of the week. It's not like every random. It's like every day of the week.
Well, this morning I blew it up with the Nikki Bella and Cooper DeJean stuff.
Yeah. No, I'll wake up many mornings, and remember, Todd lives in L.A., so he's on the West Coast. I'll wake up in the morning and have like 48 missed text messages, and it's these two idiots going back and forth,
back and forth like a tennis match.
Yep. Todd was the co-host on the show from like 2014 to 2016, sometime in that range.
I think it was earlier than that, wasn't it?
Might have been earlier.
Maybe
than
a little. Oh yeah, because it was before the process. Actually, it was during the Bynum year. It was around then. It was at Bynum's time.
Well, he was with you when Radio Row was in New York City for that Super Bowl.
That's right. That's the first Radio Row we went to.
Yeah. So whatever year that was.
There's a picture that always shows up. It's me, Todd, and Ricky Waters.
That was from New York City, Radio Row?
Radio Row, yep.
Nice.
And Todd was my roommate in college, and we did radio together at West Virginia.
Anthony in Avalon chimes in and says, I love the Knicks Nuggets segment. Just wish you wasn't calling out sick so often.
Yeah, he's sick again today. No Nuggets today. By the way, Nuggets is a heck of a find. He's the nicest human being you ever met in your life, right? He's one of the hardest workers you ever met in your life. And Nuggets was actually was working at WIP in Philly. He was a producer on the overnights there. And we needed somebody. They recommended him. He started working here. WIP was using him like a rented mule, so he quit. And when I heard that he quit, I had liked the kid so much and saw enough talent in him that I reached out to him, taking a chance that he wanted to come back. And he was so appreciative that I reached out and thought of him, and he came back, and he's been with us ever since. And we have ventured into some other things together as well, and he's actually not here today because of an opportunity that I got for him as well. So Nuggets is a tremendous addition, and both of our ideas. I said, come up with an idea. You have an idea for the show? If I like it, I'll incorporate it. We came up with Knicks Nuggets, and that listener there happens to like it, so that's good.
Got some more text. I do want to read this one because it kind of has to do with me selfishly. Shaner at Lake Panaca, Pacanac, or I don't know how to say that, how he spelled it. I think he spelled it a little weird. He says, happy holidays, fellas. He says, I'm sad to have lost game night before the evening games, but I love hanging with Josh on the weekends because it makes fishing charters fun to shoot the breeze and argue about how smart or dumb Josh's opinions are.
Shaner's one of the great text messengers that we have on this show. Yes, and we try to get a little bit more local flair on the weekends for us, which is one of the reasons why we made that decision to make that move. And, you pull from one to kind of go to the other. So we're glad that it kind of worked out for Shaner that he's in the boat at that time on Saturday. So he can be, we can't have Josh at two places at one time. So I told him to go home early on the weeknights so that he can.
That's right.
Pat from Ocean City chimes says, hey guys, Merry Christmas. I love Knicks Nuggets segment and really all the Sports Bash guests. He says, Josh producing is fantastic. Everything is terrific except Mike when you talk about the brutal Sixers organization. But keep up the great work, says Pat Ocean City.
There are a handful of people that follow me on social media and the show that just don't like the NBA, don't like the Sixers. You had that divide when the Sixers did the process. There were these get off my lawners that just will never ever go back to them because of what they did. And that's fine. I mean, I'm not begging Pat from Ocean City to be a Sixers fan. You're missing out. I mean, not the Sixers. The Sixers have actually been entertaining this year. I have no idea.
If you have the right mindset, right, going into the season
with low expectations.
I have no ideas of grandeur that they're going to win the NBA title this year. But Maxi's fun. I like McCain. They just, for whatever reason, they're not using him enough. But if you're not watching VJ Edgecombe, Pat in Ocean City, you're not a sports fan. Like, you could say, I hate the Sixers, but that's the kind of guy you would say, I don't like this team at all, but I like watching that guy play. The
key is you can't talk yourself into getting yourself brokenhearted again, right? Just because Embiid scores 39 points the other night, I wouldn't talk myself into this team, getting back into the Eastern Conference Finals mix.
They're going to have to get Joel back playing at a Joel level for a month before people, I think, say, because of Maxey. Now Maxey is kind of taking the torch for this team.
Right.
And if you get Joel playing like Joel did on Friday night when he scores 39, by the way, Paul George is playing very well.
He really has.
If you get those three guys, you've never seen those three guys play together the way that it was all envisioned to play together. What happens if those three guys are actually pretty good together? Anybody ever think of that one?
I think Daryl Morey, Josh Harris thought about it 2 years ago.
Yeah, but we haven't got to see it. All right, what else we got?
By the way, we got a shout out for another former regular on the text board. Sam from Northfield says, I remembered and used to love listening to Josh with Deshaun.
Deshaun's by the way, Deshaun is one of my favorite people. And Deshaun reached out to me. He was working at the Atlantic Community College radio station. And those type of people I always have a soft spot in my heart for. Josh, Pete was talking about earlier how many people who have worked at our station who moved on to Philly and work up there and have made a name for themselves up there, but they all started here. A guy like Deshaun who worked really hard, he just blindly reached out to me. I think he met me at the mall or something. I happened to be walking through the mall, and he said
That's a good
hello.
story.
Then he reached out to me, and I was a guest on his college radio show. But I am always trying to find and carve out roles and things for young, talented people to do. And I always Deshaun is one of my. I actually played in a men's league basketball league with Deshaun.
Yes, you did.
Which I guess I kind of regret because no, I had a good time. But Deshaun was like, "Hey, you want to play basketball?" I said, "Fine." I'm like 40. It was at COVID because the league got canceled. So how was that? 5 years ago, I was like 44 years old. The league was filled with guys like 18, 19 who just graduated from college, and they're like pressing us.
You felt like LeBron James out there.
Oh, right. Now I know what LeBron feels. They're pressing us. And I was like, dude, you brought me into a league. These guys are pressing, But now there's Deshaun doing some hanging with Hennings in 2026.
Yep, that's the plan. He is part of the rotation of the cast for Hanging with Hennig. He makes it out when he's not busy doing God's work, i.e. being a full-time dad.
Gotcha. All right.
A couple more texts I want to squeeze in here. FedEx Frank chimes in and says, you mentioned Danny Watkins and ruined my Christmas.
Sorry, man. Well, you better hope that you don't have a fire at your house and Watkins is the guy that shows up.
That's true. Well, maybe he's actually a better fireman than he was a offensive lineman.
Hopefully.
Paul
Danny, by the way, was one of the nicest guys of all time. He just didn't really didn't have a passion for football.
No, didn't have a passion, but nice guy.
Yeah.
Paul from Villas says, my favorite time to listen to Sports Bash each year is actually during draft season. I am normally not that educated on the draft. I honestly could care less, but you guys do a good job of breaking it down, the NFL draft, to make it interesting. Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you for that. Two things. One, DeCecco's outstanding when it comes to the draft. Our conversations now we have some other guys. Rick Saratella has now kind of jumped in to our draft role. Some other guys who do that. But I thought Scott Wright, when we would get him on, was...
Oh, I mean, 6th-round picks, 7th-round picks from D2 schools.
And DeCecco can do that, too. DeCecco's the kind of guy that knows the guy playing at Delaware, left tackle at Delaware.
Oh, they played last night. There you go.
I know, I'm watching
Delaware.
that game over there.
Oh, yeah, that was their first bowl game. They won.
First FBS bowl game. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite guests, favorite segments, least favorite guests, least favorite segments. We've had some good stuff today. By the way, I love when people get involved and let us know what you like, what you don't like. Because as I said, this is my last show of the year. And what I do, I'll go in the lab now and but I'll start to cheat. But seriously, after football season's over, I start to tweak the show. I got to get ready for, when the Eagles are done and the day-to-day Eagles coverage kind of stops, you got to start to come up with some new things. That's how Nick's Nuggets was formed. It was in an off season of the Eagles. And it was like, hey, we got to find some fun things to do in the middle of the summer. Let's do this. And it's kind of a segment that we really thought was going to be just for the summertime. And then people kind of reacted and liked it. And here it is, still going. Today it's Pete's Pizza and Josh's Jerky.
I got 2 slices with pepperoni on them for you.
All right. All right. More of your text messages and football at 4 with DeCecco in 15 minutes. Stick around.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Right at 5 o'clock, we'll do Unsportsmanlike Moment of the Day with Evan Cohen will join us, the host of Unsportsmanlike. So if you're a fan of Unsportsmanlike Moment of the Day, we'll do that at 5 o'clock tonight. That was another segment where I talked to Evan, met him at the Super Bowl. We had, when he got named the morning show host. You knew him from Sirius, right?
Yeah. I've crossed paths with him. Yep.
So when he got the job in the morning, and Canty started having these takes on the Sirianni and stuff, and I said, you know what? I think listening to Canty's takes in the afternoon might be something that we can react to because he seems to be so outlandish with some of this stuff. It seemed like he just he had it out for Sirianni. So we started the Unsportsmanlike Moment of the Day, and it's turned into some good stuff. Phil and Brigantine. Now, Phil's been a great listener for a long time.
Yep.
Says, guys, I literally like all the current segments. Football at 4 is an industry staple. Must listen radio. All your team expert segments are excellent. I needed to warm up to McGarry, but now I look forward to him. Oh, and I do love the road shows as well. Thank you, Phil. Good to always see him out and about when he shows up at some of the different events when we're out on the road. I was a hardcore 4-4 Phillies fan, but the Sixers under Morey in the last couple of years at Harris have turned me off. Yeah, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. To each their own. I like basketball. I would say it all the time. I just like basketball. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. People are like, Sixers this, NBA stinks. I like basketball. I'll go watch a high school basketball game. I just happen to like basketball. 609-403-0973.
I got one for you here. Monday Marcus chimes in. He says, I remember speaking to Pete G on the phone in his first stint. How about that, Pete?
Monday Marcus, I remember him. He's an OG on this show, man.
He is.
Yes. He was a good caller when he used to take calls.
Yep.
Good caller.
Monday Marcus.
It's
been a original. That's right. He's way back in the
But he also says, I hope Mike Gill's basketball skills are a tad better than his bowling skills.
They are. But Monday Marcus, I was in a bowling league years ago. We had a team from like the sales department. You were on that team.
I was on that team, yep.
And we had a sales department put together the team, and I was on it with them. I'm terrible. I was awful. And Monday Marcus happened to be in the league.
Now, we did have a ringer on that team, Howard Hirsch.
Well, he was the sales guy.
He was good.
Yeah, he was good.
And
then, he had not bowled for like 10 years, and we brought him back into bowling, and now I think he still bowls.
All because of that.
Because of that team.
And we were terrible.
Yeah. All right. Keep them coming. Favorite guest, favorite segment, least favorite guest, least favorite segment. And we'll keep reading them and compiling them throughout the day. When we get back, we are going to get into, as the text message said, an industry staple. Football at 4. Andrew DeCecco from the Inside the Birds podcast is going to join us on the other side. Give us his thoughts on this Eagles team as they get ready for the Washington Commanders. And it is a big game this weekend because two things can happen. One, the Eagles can win and clinch the division, which then would mean you have the decision to make. What do you do with the last 2 weeks? Do you play for seeding? Their biggest seeding opportunity is the 3 seed. They have a tough road to get to the 2 and a really tough road to get to the 1. But we'll talk to Andrew coming up next on the Sports Bash live at Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township. Stop on out and see us on this Thursday edition. And Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. It is brought to you by the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. We'll be there on Monday. Today we're at Chickies and Pete's here in Egg Harbor Township. My last show of the year. We're having some fun today. People are texting in their favorite guests, their favorite segments. And, of course, many people's favorite segment, as somebody texted in a little bit earlier, an industry staple. Football at 4. Another person also gave praise to Andrew DeCecco during draft season about all his insight and analysis. And he joins us right now for today's Football at 4. Andrew, welcome back, man. How you been? Yeah, man. We're kind of my last show of the year. And said people texting their favorite guest, their favorite segment, their least favorite guest, their least favorite segments, and the Football at 4 has been a big thing. And obviously, it started with John McMullen, and then when John moved on, we switched over and did the Inside the Birds crew. And you were just a young buck back then, man, and now you have come a long, long, long way in your coverage of this team, which is now second to none, and a lot of people look forward. But somebody does, it's great to hear, pointing like Andrew specifically during draft time. They like to hear that kind of stuff. And that's kind of like one of your favorite things is that time of the year, looking at the draft and uncovering those guys, the Shrine Game, that kind of stuff is kind of where you were originally, like, was one of your favorite things to do. It will be, but this team's not thinking draft, Andrew. They're thinking about winning a division. And I don't know, let's get your takeaway from their win over Vegas and kind of like extrapolate a little bit on what you saw from that game and, the take of, well, it was only Vegas. Do you look at it as a bigger than it was only Vegas? Of the things they did offensively, obviously that's been the big bugaboo for this team, and everybody keeps kind of breaking down what they do, what they don't do, what they've done, what they are doing. What are some of the things you like that they can build on these last 3 weeks?
But I think that's another key to unlocking another element of this offense and certainly helping springboard the running game.
if you watch the Hard Knocks the last couple of weeks, really, you've seen him and Saquon talking about the run game, and we're getting close, we're getting there. And they seem to indicate that they've made some changes, and they seem like that's being implemented. Are you getting a better feel that this run game is about to take off, or is this still a byproduct of their offensive line having issues?
Well, to me, it looks like the offensive line's getting healthier, and that's certainly going to be even more so when Lane Johnson returns to the fold. But I think that they are really close. And Jordan Mailata has said this all season long, that they're a hair off. They're really close. And I know that for fans listening, that may sound like lip service. But if you go back and watch the film, there are a lot of instances this season where they are really close to hitting a home run. And I just get the sense that in the postseason, there's going to be that signature Saquon Barkley game, that vintage Saquon Barkley game, if you will, where he's going to remind everybody that, yeah, I'm the same guy and things are now starting to click. But I think to a larger point here, this Eagles team has never once wavered. And if you're someone who, takes vibes into consideration, I can tell you that the vibes feel a lot different at this point compared to maybe where they were during the losing stretch there, or even earlier in the season. It just feels like they believe and they know what they have as a team, and now it's about going out there and proving it and being more consistent week in and week out.
Yeah, and then, of course, you had Jalen last week, had a good game, 12 for 15, threw the ball well. What are you seeing in the passing game opening up here the last really 2 weeks? He didn't have as much success the week before, but it seemed that there was some meat on the bone that week.
Yeah, even against the Chargers, I was intrigued with the advanced route concepts. And when your offense is struggling, you have to go back to the drawing board. There's always so many different cards that you can play, right? You're not going to swap out personnel. And when you get later in the season, you have to sometimes start to learn to get comfortable being uncomfortable and trying some different things. And I'm noticing for Jalen, the play action has really – I think has been added some good flavor to the offense. And it's been something that I think you should be encouraged with that. And Jalen Hurts running the football, being able to utilize the middle of the field, which I believe will ultimately open up things down the field for the Eagles and give them a much more varied passing attack. So I think there's a lot of positives to take away, even in that Chargers game where there were 5 total turnovers. But it's looking more like the offense that I sort of envisioned going into the season.
Yeah, and obviously their offense last year was up and down and all around. But, Andrew, it was their defense that really led them through those first early rounds of the playoffs. Yeah, they had some big offensive explosions. But really, even in those games, the defense led them. Where do you put this defense next to that one from last year?
I view it as pretty close because this pass rush, without Jalen Carter, by the way, and yes, you can look at the Raiders offensive line, and you can look at the Chargers offensive line, but they generate pressure. They force quarterbacks off their spot. They make them uncomfortable, and that's something that travels in the postseason. So I look at this defense. Is it as good as last season? Probably not. That's a tall order, but they are pretty darn close. And I think that they're starting to really gel and come together. And that all starts from, in my estimation, the messaging from Nakobe Dean, his mentality, his perspective of how he views and wants the defense to look. And he's just a tone setter. And you couple that with Zach Bond, who's having a better season stats-wise than he did last year when he was an All-Pro. You could look at the forced fumbles and say, okay, well, he forced more fumbles last season. That's fine. But I think the back end, Adoree Jackson has settled in nicely as the number 2 corner, and that's going to be even more so when you're able to pressure the quarterback and take a little bit of pressure off the back end. Cooper DeJean spoke a lot about that after the game Sunday. And I think the defensive line, with Brandon Graham sliding in there and from the interior, but Moro Jomo, Jordan Davis is having a hell of a season. And I think what you're seeing is all levels of that unit gel and come together. They flow the football with urgency. And this is an elite. It's growing into an elite defense. Maybe not quite there yet if you're looking at it from a stats perspective. But, this is something that I believe will travel and help take the Eagles far.
Well, and you wonder, how many teams would have a guy like Jahad Campbell just standing on the sideline, not really contributing. That kind of shows you the talent level of this team, because he played really well early in the year, and you're almost like, man, they can't find a role for him, but I guess he's kind of a square peg in a round hole at this point.
Yeah, and I said it then, and I didn't think it was hyperbole then. I certainly don't now, but the Eagles have an embarrassment of riches at linebacker, and it's further evidence that you can't get your first-round pick on the field, who's played well, by the way, when his number's been called, when he was starting earlier in the season. But as I go back to, Vic Fangio doesn't traditionally rotate linebackers, and when Nakobe Dean's playing as well as he is, and Vic Fangio said as much, it's hard to take him off the field. And so, I mean, Jahad Campbell is sort of a luxury to have right now, but he also complements, I think, ideally, what they have in Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond, because he has a different type of frame. He covers a lot of ground sideline to sideline, and he's a longer player. So I think that in coverage, he can get his hand up there, his arm up there, and sort of affect throwing windows and things like that. And yeah, I mean, you would like to see them work him in a little bit more into the defensive plans. I think that there should be 12 to 15 snaps to find a way to get your first round pick on the field. But Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean are playing so well right now that it's sort of something that's become an afterthought.
We're talking with Andrew Checo, football at 4. A couple more. Washington, they played them in the NFC Championship game, last year. Obviously, it's not gone the way Washington wanted. They've had a lot of injuries. It seems that they did win last week, by the way, after losing 8 straight games. Do you look at this as a tricky, kind of a sneaky, trappy type of game, or is this a game that the Eagles should continue to roll in?
I think maybe early in this game it could be a little tricky just with the quarterback running game with Marcus Mariota. When you look at where the defense has had some hiccups, it's been when quarterbacks are mobile and they're able to pick up yards with their legs. I look at Jackson Dart in that first Giants game. I look at Patrick Mahomes back in week 2, and then certainly Justin Herbert late in that game. The Chargers couldn't do anything. They were stuck in the mud, and it was Justin Herbert and his legs that were able to kind of propel them to a win when they probably had no business winning. So I think this game with Marcus Mariota is going to be a really good test. They get to see him twice down the last 3 games in terms of just being disciplined and preparing for that. And there's not a lot of NFC quarterbacks that pose that kind of threat, maybe Caleb Williams. But I don't know that the Commanders have enough juice there to really threaten the Eagles. I like the receiving core with Deebo Samuel, Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech, a player who I like coming out. They have Terry McLaurin. Zach Ertz, though, is a huge loss for them. That was a security blanket, and he was playing at a very high level. So now they have John Bates, who, by the way, is one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL, and Ben Sinnott, who's going to probably fulfill that Zach Ertz role. He's a second-year player out of Kansas State. And their running game is sort of nondescript. They have Chris Rodriguez, who's more of a bruiser, and then they have Bill Krosky Merritt, who's more of a finesse type of player. But I just don't know if they have enough there to be able to threaten the Eagles in any meaningful way.
Well, we'll see it all unfold this Saturday right here on 97.3 ESPN. It is a 5 o'clock Saturday kickoff time. And, of course, a little odd there. I feel like the Eagles play Washington on a Saturday, like, all the time. It never seems to go well. I hate Saturday football. I'd much rather the games be on Sunday. And, I talked about this. Colin Thompson, used to join our show, who played in the league. He used to talk about don't discount these guys getting out of their routines and, like, playing on a Monday night and a Friday and a Sunday night. And they got a 1 o'clock game on a Sunday last week. And I had said last week, don't discount playing Sunday at 1 and then feeling a lot more secure. And they win 31-0. And then it's funny. There's the scene where Nick says, hey, we have a game, Saturday. And they're like, we have another short week. Like, we play Saturday again. Like, getting into those routines is a big deal.
Yeah, it is, especially when you're a creature of habit. And it affects things like treatment and certain things, whether it's massage and little things like that are part of your daily routine that sort of gets disruptive when you have a short schedule. But Nick Sirianni pretty much said that's the price you pay when you win a lot of football games, is that, you're in a lot of these prime time spots. And so I agree with Colin. There's a lot that goes into it that I think probably isn't taken into account from the outside, but it definitely does sort of uproot, if you will, your daily routine. And I think that it's perfectly encapsulated when you hear Nick Sirianni say that in the post-game locker room, and you hear a what? Because you're just so accustomed to playing on, Sunday, Monday, or even Thursday, that to play on a Saturday, I think is a little odd.
Yeah.
And that sort of leads to, I guess, it leads to some of those fluky type of games that the Eagles have had out there in Landover. But I think it really comes down to this, Mike. The Eagles are a much better team than the Commanders, and they're starting to play better football. 3 penalties last week compared to what they've been doing. If they just play their brand of football, don't hurt themselves, and continue to build off of what they've done over the past couple of weeks from an offensive standpoint and a defensive standpoint, I think they're going to be just fine.
All right, you can listen to the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. That is Football at 4, and that's Andrew DeCecco. Well, enjoy the holiday, man. Happy New Year, and we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, happy holidays. Happy New Year, and yes, we will chat soon, Mike. Take care.
Absolutely. Andrew, of course, a big staple on Football at 4 all throughout the Eagles football season and in the offseason. Football at 4, all off-season long. Every day, 4 o'clock, right here on the Sports Bash. Somebody actually listening on the free mobile app messaged in earlier regarding Football at 4. Read off some of the text messages on the app. When talking about Football at 4, and maybe it was on the text board, I don't remember, but somebody talking about Football at 4 being, it was somebody saying that he, here it is. Joe in Pomona says, Football at 4 is a must listen. My wife knows I am unavailable from 4 to 4:30. I also love Casey Joyner. One thought, great help for my pick'em pool. We'll look forward to Mike's untapped check-ins during his time off. I like that he follows me on Untapped and knows that when I'm off, I'm doing a little tour of the area, right? The Football at 4. I like how he says to his wife, between 4 and 4:30.
Don't bother
me.
Leave me alone.
I'm listening to Football at 4 on the Sports Bash. 609-403-0973. Goody from Galloway says, I love any segments with Adam Kaplan or Sal Pal. And the live events are amazing. 99 bottles is always great. My favorite time is Eagles preseason and all the talk about the free agents, rookies, position battles. Thank you for being your authentic selves. That's Goody in Galloway. Thanks, man. Yeah, Adam Kaplan, part of Football at 4, of course, and Sal Pal Antonio. Sal Pal only does our show. Sal Pal does not appear on other programs. He only does
the Bash.
Sports Bash.
That's right.
That is it. 609-403-0973. By the way, for those of you just tuning in, kind of having fun today. Today is my last show of 2025. I will be back on January the 5th. I know that sounds like a long time away, doesn't it? There's just a lot of holidays, like eves and days, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. They're falling on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that kind of built me in a couple extra days off. Josh too. Josh has had more days games, off in the next couple of weeks than I think in his entire life combined.
Good for you, Josh.
So what we've been asking throughout the day, we've been having a little fun today. The Eagles playing Washington. They're out of it. Big game for the Eagles. Phillies made a couple moves earlier this week we talked a lot about. So in a day where it's kind of, the last day of the year for the full show with everybody, Nuggets took off, right? Nuggets took off on the last day. But we've been asking everybody, if you listen to the show, if you're new to the show, or you've been listening for a long time, text in 609-403-0973. What is your favorite guest? What is your favorite segment? Your least favorite guest? Your least favorite segments? I also like to know, do you listen on the radio? Do you watch the video? Do you listen on the app? How do you listen to the show? Yes, how do you consume the show? All of these things are helpful as we get to 2026. What else we got on the text board, Josh? We got more text messages coming in?
Nick is catching more strays on the text board at 609-403-0973. Jeff from Port Norris chimes in and says, hey, Mike, thanks for another great year of your shows. Thanks for Josh. He does a great job. But what's up with Earnshaw? He's like an NBA player. Can't do back-to-back. More time, sick time than state employees. This is Jeff from Port Norris.
Yeah, well, Earnshaw, he's gonna have to deal with the fans, right? When it's like these NBA players
deal with the backlash,
who take load management. The fans don't like it.
They
don't like
they what they want. They expect to hear Nick Earnshaw doing Nuggets.
Hey, listen, I agree.
I will say it's more or less of a sick day, more of like Nick's on assignment.
He is on assignment. He is on assignment. By the way, Nick will be on assignment tomorrow as well. So if you want to follow me on Twitter at Mike Gill Show, you'll see what Nick and I are doing tomorrow during the show. All right? You can find us tomorrow.
Jeff from Ocean City says, I actually use all 3 versions of the show. Sometimes I need the app when I'm stuck in traffic in Philly, he says.
So, he listens on the radio. He listens on the app, and he also watches.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, if you want to watch on YouTube or on the X platform, it's just another avenue. A lot of the guests appear on the video, so you can see them. You can chat on there, and you can chat a lot easier. You can type the chat instead of text the chat. That's another thing behind the scenes. We have a lot of, great text messengers. Some text, daily, all throughout the day. Some people text every once in a while, but it's almost like having that regular caller that would call all the time, and you would hear them call all the time and stuff. We got people that text like that all day, every day.
Yeah, they do.
Different things like that, and they've become a part of the show as well. All right, we're having some fun today. We got some Pete's Pizzas, Josh's Jerky. We'll do more of your text messages. Favorite guests, favorite segment, your favorite moments on the Sports Bash, your least favorite guests, your least favorite segments. Text them in right now, 609-403-0973. We'll read them off throughout the day. We do have Evan Cohen, our Unsportsmanlike Moment of the Day. It's coming up. It's packed in here, by the way.
It is packed.
Those
That
two
bar,
those 2 ladies right there just took the last seats at the bar.
they sure did.
That's it.
Johnny B's heading right. He's heading over there now to take their order.
That's another thing. We've been coming to Chickies and Pete's for the entire time of the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. And
Johnny B's getting a top shelf out of there, but he's got the ladder out.
Come by, see Johnny Benson and the team here at Chickies and Pete's. Stop out, have some crab fries. This is the place to watch Thursday Night Football tonight, right here, Chickies and Pete's in EHT. It's the Sports Bash. We're answering more of your text messages, reacting and responding. Have a little fun on our favorite, our last full show of the year. Stick around.
You are still approved.
ESPN.
My home for sports.
South Jersey's home for Eagles football.
All right, Feliz Navidad, everybody. 4:30, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. A lot of text messages coming in. Favorite guest, favorite segment, least favorite guest, least favorite segment. It's time for Nick's Nuggets. But Nick's out today. He called out sick. Or is he playing hooky?
It could be both. Is that possible?
So we'll do a couple slices of Pete's Pizza, Josh's Jerky, more text messages coming in on your favorite guests, favorite segments. Georgia Galloway, Casey Joyner on the Sports Bash is my favorite guest on any radio show, period. How about that?
Wow.
Any radio show, period. Casey Joyner. By the way, 5:30 tonight, one thought every game. Honorable mention, Evan Cohen, Michelle Smallman, Q Myers, and any football at 4 guests. By the way, Evan Cohen at 5 o'clock tonight. This guy's having a big day. Casey Joyner is his favorite guest on any show, period. And Evan Cohen's is honorable mention, and Q Myers was on yesterday.
I mean, Mike, you made this show just for him.
Michelle Smallman's only been on once or twice.
Yeah, she came on the one time when we were doing the whole recruit her to be an Eagles fan.
Yep.
And
She
then
chose the Packers.
And then she chose the Packers about a month later. And then she had to answer for her transgression at the Super Bowl with Mike Gill.
Yeah, we had her on the Super Bowl. We had her one at a time. Georgia Galloway says, I also missed a weekly segment during the football season where MG would guess the spread of each game on the NFL slate. Despite my skepticism as whether or not they were honest guesses, I always found it highly entertaining. Well, they were honest guesses. If they weren't honest guesses, I would get them wrong, or I would get I'd get them all right, I mean.
Or you would like suspiciously guess like a weird number, like make it sound like you were getting it wrong.
It's not rocket science either, though, right? I mean,
I guess the spread for I don't even know why we didn't do that this year.
I don't know why either. We used to do that at 5 o'clock on Thursdays.
Well, we moved Casey to 5 o'clock on
Is that what it was?
Thursdays. Maybe, I don't know, because Casey used to do Fridays at 5, and Sal Powell did 3 o'clock on Friday.
Right, and then we had to shuffle it around.
Yeah, Sal was easier to do 5 o'clock on Friday, and then Casey on Thursday.
Graciously moved to Thursday, and then I don't know. We'll keep that in mind for 2026.
Yeah, I don't know why. We just decided. Maybe I just completely forgot about it.
Pete, that's a segment we can do next week.
I'm down.
Make
I like
Pete
this
and Nick
text.
guess the spreads.
I like this text here. This is from Josh in Delaware. He says, I have it down to a science of what time I need to leave my office to get to my car, to get to the radio on for football at 4. Whoever's on, I love listening. I listen all the way home and end with Nick's Nuggets. I split listening time between the app and the radio. The radio doesn't come in well in Southern Delaware. Happy New Year's to the Sports Bash. Josh, pretty cool. Thank you for listening in Southern Delaware. I thought Southern Delaware that the station came in pretty good.
By the way, I want to say it's very on par for a guy named Josh to have his life down to a science schedule to make sure he works his life around something.
He knows the exact time he has to leave his office to sit in the car to hear now football at 4.
And that same Jeffrey Lurie bite.
Yes. Warren Wade. Warren's been listening for years, always comes out to a lot of the events. Cape May Courthouse says nothing better than listening on the radio and hearing Josh say, you're caller number 7. There you go.
I love that. That's a good one.
609-403-0973. 609-403-0973. All right, Pete's Pizza. What do we got today?
All right, let's start with the Birds. 3 games left. Let's predict that they win on Saturday, which they are favored to do, and they wrap up the division, and they can pretty much finish no worse than the 3 seed. It's the question that comes up every year because they're so damn good. Do you rest the starters in week 17 or 18, or are you still trying to hold out hope for that 2 seed? 1 seed's pretty unlikely. It's still possible, but that 2 seed is still there, kind of.
I would think you were the 2 seed last year.
You were.
Don't you want the best opportunity to play at home?
Lions got clipped last year.
Lions were the 1. They lost to Washington. Now, in this situation, if the 2 is Chicago, do you feel like, you know what? I'll take my chances. If Chicago loses at home, then we as the 3 seed, we get that.
You would go up to the 2
home
seed.
game.
Yeah.
Or are you taking too much of a chance to put it in someone's hands? I think you are. And I got to try to go for that 2 seed. Knowing that I just won the Super Bowl the year before, coming from that spot.
Also, the fact that, and I know historically people kind of dismiss it because, different team, different year. But I don't think it's a coincidence. The only time the Eagles have been to a Super Bowl in the 21st century is when they had home games in the postseason.
Somebody texted in yesterday and said the Eagles have never won a road game in the NFC Championship.
That's correct.
So it's not an easy thing to do. You want your best opportunity. I would have to think that if I am still in play for the 2, I got to go for it. Now,
even if you're relying on some kooky stuff to happen.
No, I think if it's like this team needs a tie or like
that's pretty much what it would be, right, Josh? I mean, we're getting towards that point.
Well, there's a couple variables. One is the fact that you do own the tiebreaker, the head-to-head over the Rams. Keep that in mind. So if it gets down to the end of the season and you and the Rams could line up, that's a huge win for you.
You need the Rams to lose twice, though.
Twice in the last 3 weeks.
And they need to win tonight,
but
right?
The problem with the Rams thing is the Rams are either going to win the division or go to the wild card. They're not in play for any of the other seeds, really. So they're either going to be like, so the tiebreaker with the Rams only comes into play here if they go 1-2. But if they go 1-2, they're not going to be the ones. They're not going to win the division, I would imagine.
Right.
That means somebody else won the division. So your tiebreaker over the Rams is almost
not as valuable.
Yeah, it's almost not going to come into play here. The tiebreaker that might come into play is the one you lost
to the Bears.
To the Bears.
Chicago, right.
The tiebreaker against Green Bay isn't really much of a tiebreaker because they have a tie.
Exactly.
So you beat them head to head, but you really can't.
The team you're really watching is the Bears down the stretch because the Bears got to survive their own gauntlet.
How interested are you in the game tonight?
Oh, very much so.
Very interested.
Yeah.
Who are you rooting for?
As an Eagles fan, you have to root for LA, right? because you own a tiebreaker over them, but you don't own anything over Seattle.
Seattle, yeah.
So you need Seattle to come down a little bit.
I mean, the only thing you got on Seattle is if Seattle loses tonight, it helps you in the sense that the Seattle has one more conference loss than you do.
Well, if the Rams win tonight, they would have to lose their last 2 for you to catch them.
Correct.
Seattle, what's Seattle? Also 11-3?
Seattle's also 11-3.
So they're both 11-3.
And they're both 6-3 in the conference.
So if Seattle wins tonight, they go to 12-3, and they're still 2 up on you with 2 left to go.
By the way, Seattle finishes the year at Carolina, at San Francisco, for those who are wondering.
2 losable games. I mean,
by the way, the Bears finished the year home against the Packers, at San Francisco, home against Detroit.
I think you want Seattle to win tonight.
And then Seattle lose the last 2.
You're pulling for, because I think it's more plausible that they would lose their last 2 games are on the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's at Carolina. That's like 3,000-mile plane ride.
Well, we just saw the Rams lose at Carolina.
Exactly.
And Carolina's still playing for the division. So they're going to need that game.
They need
so
that
I
game.
think Seattle winning tonight gives the Rams a loss. Then the Rams have to lose one of their last 2. If Seattle loses tonight, it's plausible that they could lose or win tonight. They win tonight, but it's plausible that they could lose their last 2. I think that's a better scenario for you.
So then we should be rooting for the Seahawks.
That's what I think.
Okay.
I think there's not a winner. I mean, if you're an Eagles
By the way, the
fan,
game is in Seattle tonight. Keep that in mind.
can you root for a tie?
Oh,
Ooh, that would be funny.
That would be a little spicy.
I think you want to root for Seattle to win tonight, then lose their last 2, because that would give the Rams a loss, and then the Rams would have to lose only one of their last 2, and then you would be tied with them, and that's where the tiebreaker would come in. So you want to have to try to get the tiebreaker to come into play with the Rams. By them losing tonight makes it a 1-game gap,
right?
And then you're hoping that they also lose. Now, they would have to lose only one of their last 2 instead of both of them.
Correct.
And who do they play?
The Rams?
Yeah.
The Rams finished the year with, let's pull it up here. I believe one of them is 49ers. No, I was wrong. Tonight at Seattle, next week at Atlanta on Monday Night Football.
They're not losing that game.
And then home against Arizona. So
they're not losing that game.
Yeah, they're the only game they can the only game you can project them to lose right now is tonight.
Right. That's why you need them to lose tonight and then hope that they lost to Carolina. You hope they lose to Atlanta or something.
Nice.
So I'm rooting for Seattle tonight. Everybody join me.
Join you. Join you in solidarity.
Yeah.
All right. Slice number 2. We got some audio here from Joe Burrow. Now, last week we heard from Joe Burrow. Kind of a weird, I don't know. He sounded a little depressed.
He talked about he's not having fun.
He's not having fun now, but this week it's more audio, kind of on the same thing. Josh, let's hear that audio. Now, if you were a Bengals fan, are you pushing the panic button here? Are you about to jump off a bridge here in these comments? Are you scared?
Something's going on with him, right? I mean,
he says next year, no worries there, but.
Well, he has kind of said, like, if I'm not having fun, why would I do this?
Right, that's what he said last week.
That's what he said last week, right.
This week he said, I can't envision myself playing elsewhere next year, but crazy things can happen after that.
Right, then he points to Micah Parsons.
Which doesn't make me feel all that.
Problem is, none of these guys are quarterbacks. You generally don't trade those guys.
Right, usually when a quarterback leaves, it's in free agency. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, etc.
Yeah, you very infrequently see a guy that you're like, hey, you know what? We're just going to trade our quarterback. I mean, I guess.
With that said, I would think 28 out of 32 teams would make a phone call.
Well, there's already been a lot of speculation of teams like the Giants. Would you trade Jackson Dart if you could get
Like Jackson
Burrow?
Dart, like the second overall pick for Burrow.
Right, stuff like that.
Bo Nix.
If Joe Burrow could be my quarterback, you almost entertain trading Jalen Hurts for him.
Jalen Hurts. I mean, I think Josh Allen would probably be
The
Mahomes,
one problem
obviously.
with Burrow has been health.
Yep.
He has not been a pillar of durability.
No, not at all. And I think that's part of probably what maybe puts you in this predicament, which is if you're another team who wants to trade for him, you better be like right on the verge of winning a championship, because then it's not worth it.
Right. If you're the Giants, then
it's not worth it to me. Or is it? Because you need star power, you know?
Well, the Giants are starting to – the Giants need to – I mean, their offensive line has been dismal.
Which is the Bengals' problem as well.
Right. But that's why if you're Joe Burrow, are you excited about getting traded to the Giants with their offensive line? Probably not.
No, I think the only team out there that needs a quarterback that I would, quote-unquote, be excited to be traded to, I mean, maybe the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, if you got traded to the Vikings, it was and him and Justin Jefferson played together.
But also Kevin O'Connell is your coach. Like, you're getting one of these guys, like your QB Westbrook kind of guy who can maybe take you to like that next level.
What about Miami?
That's my next slice of pizza.
Problem is Miami, there. First of all, is the coach going to be there? The offensive line is pretty much as bad as Cincinnati's is.
Well, you have I don't know what's going on with Tyreek Hill. I mean, that was a pretty bad
Tyreek Hill doesn't know what's going on with Tyreek Hill.
Waddle, good receiver.
Very good receiver.
Achan's had a great year.
Mm-hmm.
Great year.
They have the pieces on offense there.
They do have some pieces.
But they're
how about this? If you're Atlanta
would be a spot that I would be intrigued.
I mean, I think Atlanta is the kind of team where if you put Joe Burrow on that team, I mean, he's better than any quarterback who's played for them since Matt Ryan.
That's not saying much, but it would be a good spot. Yeah, Drake London, Kyle Pitts,
Bijan Robinson.
I mean, their problem is they don't have a great defense, and their offensive line is not very good.
The offensive line is ironically better than the Bengals or the Dolphins. Though.
It'll be one of those off seasons where I think you're going to be hearing it constantly because the Bengals have been so bad, and he's such a big, he's going to turn into the new Aaron Rodgers. You're going to hear about him being in the trade talks every week. Because now I don't know, is Aaron Rodgers going to play again next year?
There's a lot of speculation.
Yeah,
he's going to retire.
I mean, he hasn't been terrible this year. I mean, he's getting a team that looks like possibly to the playoffs, and he hasn't been awful.
The thing about Burrow is that's just so massive is he's only 29.
What about Denver?
That would turn the NFL upside down if he went somewhere. Right?
Yeah. What about Denver?
They like that rookie contract. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, but they're going to have to decide whether or not they want to pay for him.
Not yet.
This is going to be his third year coming up next year.
Right, but he's got a 5-year deal.
Yeah, but at some point, just like the Jalen Hurts thing, he's not going to play on that last year of the deal if he outperforms the contract. You have to make that decision.
I think Sean Payton likes having a quarterback.
Actually, it is different for Knicks because he was a first-round pick.
He was a first-round pick.
Yeah. Jalen being a second-round pick made the salary a lot
more different. If Knicks goes on to win the AFC Championship and makes the Super Bowl, he's going to want more money right away.
That's the problem. Like, Jalen made it to the Super Bowl in his third season, but it was only his second year as a starter.
I just feel like Bo Nix is a guy who fits what Sean Payton wants. I don't see Payton being that quick to pull that trigger.
I'm just saying, let's say they take a disappointing.
I'll give you another team I think makes more sense.
What if they take a disappointing first-round exit?
Denver?
Yeah.
I mean,
they're going to be the 1 seed. Most likely. I mean, that's not definitive. But if they got knocked out in the first round and it's because Knicks didn't play well.
You could chalk it up to a young quarterback being a young quarterback.
Right, but you have a Super Bowl team, and you might say, if I have the chance to get Joe Burrow, maybe I take it.
To me, the team that's very interesting is, what if Matthew Stafford retires at the end of this year?
It's plausible, I guess.
Burrow to the Rams.
Who's the backup there?
It was
Jimmy
Georgia.
Garoppolo, but I don't know if
Garoppolo, yeah.
Garoppolo was the backup.
Well, this leads me into my final slice of pizza here. Tua getting benched this week.
Yeah.
Now, his next stops, according to Bleacher Report, Arizona, Vegas, the Jets, the Colts, and Josh just mentioned them, the LA Rams. And two-parter, I mean, is Tua, I guess he gets another shot at being a starter.
Well, that's another team that should be calling Cincinnati is Indianapolis.
Can you imagine they swapped quarterbacks?
Well, Daniel Jones having the Achilles now, they were going to probably bring him back and have him be their guy. Now you can't bank on that.
That's true.
And Anthony Richardson obviously isn't their guy. Richardson, this was interesting. Richardson got activated this week from the injured list.
His practice window got activated.
Right, but what if he was healthy? Would they have called Phillip Rivers?
I don't
think so.
I think that Richardson has been such an abominationally disappointment that I think that they're scared to put him back out there.
So the Jets, they obviously need a quarterback.
Yes, they always need a
They've
quarterback.
needed a quarterback since Joe Namath played. Maybe Vinny Testaverde.
I'll say Chad Pennington had a good few years.
Boomer.
Well, Sanchez made 2 AFC championship games.
Yeah, that was
a
the defense and the running game.
Yeah, we know.
What if you're the Lions and you're like, this was so disappointing. Not that Goff sucks. It just
we got to
have
get
a
something
team-
for him.
We have a team that Goff doesn't elevate. He's a part of.
Exactly.
Burrow would elevate.
Burrow is an elevator.
Yeah, he would make Amon-Ra St. Brown turn into Jerry Rice.
Yeah, he would make Amon-Ra St. Brown into the next coming of Jamar Chase, basically.
So, I mean, that's a team that would say, okay, we're in a division with Green Bay,
And
Chicago.
the Bengals could rationalize by saying, see, we got a number one overall pick in return.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals have to decide, do they want to – so there's not a quarterback in this draft. That's why you wouldn't trade him.
No, this is a bad quarterback draft.
Yeah, so I don't see it getting traded. But it was a fun discussion.
Yeah, good job,
All
Pete.
right, that's it for the Pete's Pizza. You got some jerky for us there, Henning?
Well, no, because we basically ran out of time. So.
That's a shame.
It was that Burrow cut that I made you play, right? That minute-long Burrow clip.
I'm going to blame Tua. Everything's Tua's fault.
When we come back, it's our unsportsmanlike moment of the day. It's going to be live with Evan Cohen. Evan Cohen joins us for the final time in 2025. By the way, text in right now, 609-403-0973. Your favorite guest, your favorite segment on the Sports Bash. It's our last show of the year. My last show of the year. Josh and Pete have you on Monday at Ocean Casino. Nick and Pete have you on Tuesday at Ocean Casino. And, of course, Josh is producing those shows, so he'll be a part of them as well. Alex Berardis is producing on Monday. He's done a good job jumping in here and there. I heard he jumped in on the locker room on Sunday with a ground rule double.
Really?
Yeah, opened up the whole show. They couldn't get on the air because of the snow.
He's a good fantasy football player as well.
Ooh. All right, 5 o'clock hour. Evan Cohen coming up.
Pacers, and Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
ESPN. Evan Cohen is host of Unsportsmanlike, our Unsportsmanlike Moment Center. Find fall closeout savings on 2025s and select pre-owned RV. Shop now before they're gone. White Horse RV, your RV adventure starts here. We've been asking you all throughout the day. It's my last show of the year. I'll be back on January the 5th. Ho, 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 everybody. My gift to you. You don't have to deal with me for the next couple of weeks. But we've been asking everybody your favorite guest, your favorite segments, least favorite guests, least favorite segments. And then in 2026, I will retune and reshape the show as we always do. Well, people are chiming in, and one of their favorite guests is on right now. It is Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, who has a plethora of votes today for their favorite guest on the show. Michelle Smallman got 1 vote. Evan Cohen got multiple votes. Q Myers has a bunch of votes today as well. Canty not getting a lot of love on our show, although he has started to turn the corner on this Eagles team, it sounds like. You know, he's been very complimentary and standing up for Jalen Hurts here as this odd Eagles season, Evan Cohen. Down the stretch they come, the final 3 weeks, and this Eagles team always gives us something to talk about.
Well, Mike, first of all, what an honor. I didn't realize that I was getting votes. I figured I would be the least favorite guest for most people with my hating on the Sixers and, well, specifically their general manager. But this is awesome. It's great to hear, and congrats on a great year of your show, The Sports Bash, of course, Mike Gill, 97.3 in AC. So this Eagles team this year, yes, CeCe's been supportive. I've been supportive because the hate on Jalen Hurts is utterly absurd in my mind.
Remember, Chris started off on this odd hate for Nick Sirianni, which has our listeners who, we do the Unsportsmanlike moment. So a lot of times his moments highlight that segment to which now my listeners have turned into haters of Canty because of that. And then recently, people are like, has Canty hit his head? Is he okay? So it has turned into a funny little back and forth there.
Well, the best part about CeCe is that what he does is he'll analyze what he sees in the moment, right? And normally I would say 9.9 times out of 10, CeCe is right. So at the time that he was critical of Sirianni, he was probably right. And the time he's been praising of Sirianni, he's probably right. And I actually, I've been a big Sirianni supporter. I have not liked what I've seen recently relative to figuring out this Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown thing. All of that said, what if they're just all going to be fine? Because there aren't so many teams in the NFC that in a big spot on the road in Philly can beat them. Or if you project out in the playoffs, if they go on the road at L.A. or on the road at Seattle, depending on who wins tonight, is it impossible that the Eagles win? Of course not. So I still think the Eagles are fine relative to the conference. 2 things can be true, Mike. They could be worse than last year and still better than the majority of the teams in the NFC.
Isn't it odd? This is the only team, though, that is generally multiple times now has been the class of the league, yet has so many questions. How many other teams have the amount of criticism and questions that surround them while being a Super Bowl contender simultaneously? It's very hard to find it.
Isn't that, and by the way, for people on the video stream, saw me drink a nice big pink drink of sparkling ice there. Isn't that the mark of when you're really great? Isn't that what we do with really great teams and franchises? Don't we nitpick? Don't we make everything into something bigger than it is? And we take the pulse of the team and ride the roller coaster on every moment. Now, the Eagles have given us ammo. Run game hasn't been as good. Obviously, injuries across the offensive line. Now, Lane Johnson and Jalen Carter out for their next game. Jalen Hurts recently receiving the critique. Same thing with Sirianni, so on and so forth. I think that Sirianni, I compared him to the modern-day Mike Ditka, where everyone gives the coordinators credit for the success and not the head coach, and that we like the head coach when we like the coordinators, and we don't like the head coach when we don't like the coordinators. So they have provided ammo, but it's also the mark of relevancy that you're that good and you're that relevant for the last, 5 years or so, that we are going to, since 17 and 18? So probably 7 years, really.
Yeah. Well, they had the one bad year with Doug that got him fired, and then after that, and before that, they were really. I mean, listen, doing Eagles talk over the last 25 years has been pretty easy. They're always really good, yet they always come with drama. They always have, and it's because Jalen Hurts is not the great that people envision when they think of great, right? Like you have this, you're told in a certain time of your life that this is a quarterback and this is what they look like and this is how they act and this is what they do. And then there's Jalen Hurts and you're like, well, that's not what I know. And I always talk about, Evan, you go into a bar in Boston and bring up Tom Brady's name. There's no arguments. You go into Indianapolis and bring up a bar about Peyton Manning. No arguments. Bourbon Street, Breeze, no arguments. You come into a South Philly bar and say Jalen Hurts, you're going to have a fist fight. He's great. No, he stinks. He's horrible. No, you don't know what you're talking about. He's the only guy who has the accomplishments, not of those guys, but that there should be almost universal takes on, and there's just not.
That's a great point. I hadn't thought about it that way. It's an excellent point by you. That even in-house, so to speak, right, in his own backyard, there are debates about him. That's a very interesting point because I'm trying to think of a comp of someone so accomplished who the fan base is not. I guess A-Rod. I live in New York, as you know. I'm in Florida right now, but I live in New York, and A-Rod. Not everyone loves him. Not everyone hates him. He's kind of, you debate like, oh, he was great.
Is that more personality driven?
Yeah, but maybe this is just me. I think A-Rod's personality now, in many ways, is borderline likable. At least in comparison to what it was.
Yeah, I mean, some people look at him as a very phony type of guy
I understand, but okay, so maybe a bad example. Maybe there's too much real life stuff. But your point is an excellent one. I don't know another example of somebody so accomplished that, like Jalen Hurts, in such a short period of time, that in their own backyard, people debate.
Well, like any other,
I'll give you a weird one. I'll give you a weird one. Very weird one. Very weird. But but for the audience, the first I did shows here where I am now in West Palm for 20 years prior to going to ESPN and SiriusXM as well. But I'll never forget when Larry Coker took over as University of Miami head coach and he won a championship. And people are like, well, he's not that good. It's Butch Davis's player. I'm like, he just won a title, whether it's Butch Davis's player. Larry Coker, again, weird example. But your point is such a good one. You have to search for the example of someone so accomplished who their home fans don't even love.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like in the Sirianni, because I heard your comparison to Mike Ditka, and I was like, that's kind of a good outside the box thought of like Sirianni, Hurts era. Went to the playoffs the first year when no one thought they could get there. Went to the Super Bowl. He was the runner-up for the MVP that year. Went 10-1 to start the season, then fell apart. And that season there is why the cracks and all of the detractors still exist. Because the next year you come back and win the Super Bowl, and then this year is going the way that it's going, where you get off to this great record, then you lose 3 in a row, you lost to the Giants, and everything goes back to 2023. And it's Sirianni's been to a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. What more does that guy need to do? He's been to the playoffs every year. Nah, he's not that good. And it's the coach and the quarterback, the two most important positions in football, and they're the two most questioned guys on a team that has accomplished as much as you possibly can outside of winning the Super Bowl every single year. It's bizarro world here.
Well, then, Mike, you tell me why. Why?
That's a great question because I look at Sirianni. I think this guy's Rocky Balboa. He should be the most popular sports figure in the city. It's almost like they took a Yellow Pages, opened it up and said, this guy's going to coach the team. And then he wins the World Heavyweight Champ. You're like, what the guy we handpicked out? Yeah, the Italian stallion will coach the Eagles, and he wins the Super Bowl. I don't know why he has not resonated or connected with locally. I can understand nationally because he's a little out there. But I don't understand why Sirianni has not connected on the way that you would think a guy who won the Super Bowl connected. It's bizarre. Hurts, on the other hand, he's in the long line of quarterback play here where Donovan was not loved, but he was really good, but people didn't think he was all that good. Michael Vick, similar. They just have never loved the quarterback. You know who's the guy that's loved here always is the backup quarterback. That's the guy. It's bizarre, right?
Well, because in some ways I don't want to say jaded. They're not jaded. The Foles thing screws people up, I guess.
Yeah.
And, his name came up this morning, which was interesting randomly. I don't remember even how we got there. Oh, we were talking about Reclamation Project quarterbacks and how I said they raised the floor because we're talking about, I know what it was. We were talking about Sam Darnold with the game tonight. And I was saying it was just CC and I, Smalls was off today, that Darnold is a guy that can raise the floor, but he doesn't necessarily raise the ceiling. And I said the Reclamation Project guys can get you into the playoffs, but I don't think they're necessarily the guys that are going to win the Super Bowl. And he said, well, what about Foles? Foles, in essence, like an out-of-nowhere guy. I said, here's the thing. If every quarterback is running a marathon, Foles started at mile 23. He didn't start at mile 0. Right? If you ask if Nick Foles was the starting quarterback for the Eagles that entire year, they're not winning the Super Bowl. No chance.
No.
And
that has been the split. You have the Wentz side of people who say, well, he would have won the MVP that year, and without him, you wouldn't have had the chance to go on that.
You don't have the lead in the marathon. Your speed doesn't have to be that high for the final. No, I'm not taking anything away from Foles. He did an unbelievable job. But let's be real. You love the backup quarterback because you saw Jalen Hurts is the backup quarterback perform well. Nick Foles, the backup quarterback, perform well. Eagles fans, let me deliver a message to Eagles fans. Jalen Hurts is a dream of a face of the franchise. Embrace him. Yeah. He's a straight line of emotions. He's never too high. He's never too low. And you know what? Play the way he wants to play. Because the way that they played when A.J. Brown complained, guess what happened? They won. And the way that they're playing now, when they're focusing too much on A.J. Brown, they're losing. Boring football can be winning football. And Eagles fans listening to Mike Gill right now should dream of boring football.
I like that take a lot. And it's always the fact that you want it to be something that you envisioned in your head. And Jalen Hurts, the day he was drafted, was not the guy you wanted. Why did you take this guy in the second round? We already had a quarterback. And then he took over, and your first impression, you as a sports fan, we always want to be right. You always want the I told you so moment. So anytime that he struggled, it's I told you he wasn't good enough. I've always said it. And the sports fans are unwilling to say, you know what, I didn't like him when they drafted him, but he's proven me wrong. So anytime they have the chance to say, I told you so, that's what sports fans do, and that's what makes sports.
So, Mike, let me ask you a question. As somebody that knows this obviously a million times better than I do. Let's say those Eagles fans that don't like Sirianni and don't like Hurts get their wish. And let's say both guys after this season, let's spin it positively, they win the lottery and they quit their jobs and they move to Hawaii with their families. They say, peace out. We don't need this anymore. Who do the Eagles fans want as coach and who do they want as quarterback?
Well, we just spent 10 minutes before you came on wondering, what would happen with Joe Burrow and people texting in. If I'm Philly, I'm calling and making that trade immediately. They would trade Jalen Hurts for Joe Burrow. I think would be one. The Sirianni thing, I don't know that they even know who they would want to be the coach. Nobody knew who Sirianni was when he got hired. But I'll spin this back to you and say this. If this thing ended up falling apart like it did with Doug Peterson, they basically said to Doug, you got to fire Press Taylor, your offensive coordinator. Doug said, no, I don't want to do that. So they fired him. That could be a situation that happens here. Hey, Nick, you picked this guy. He's your buddy. You got to get rid of him. Does Nick say, you know what? I won a Super Bowl here. I don't need this crap anymore. Would Nick Sirianni get scooped up right away, or would teams look at him and say, they didn't win it because of that guy?
That's an interesting question. Let's go one by one on this. So the guy you're talking about obviously is Kevin Patullo in that spot, right?
Correct. And by the way, if they got rid of him, that would be like the 8th different coordinator for Jalen Hurts.
Well, there's an easy and obvious answer as to who they should hire. I'll get to that in a second. But to me, let's just say if it was my best friend that I was working for and I knew that the heat on my best friend was because of me. And basically they're telling my best friend to fire me. And he says, no, I'm not. I'm quitting. It's not even a debate. I'm not doing that to my best. If you're my best friend, if you're my closest friend, I'm walking away. Okay.
Yep.
So let's just, that to me becomes an easy one. He doesn't.
Well, but we have seen that happen here before. They told Doug Peterson, you got to fire Press Taylor. And he was like, I'm not doing that.
Well,
and they said, okay, you don't want to fire him, then you go too.
If he knew about that, that's on him. He should have walked away. That's my opinion. That's what I would do. Okay. Now, if there was an OC opening, which there probably will be with the Eagles, to me, there's an easy and obvious hire. And it needs to be like what the Patriots did. You need to hire someone that cannot get a head coaching job anytime soon because of failed head coaching jobs. The guy they need to hire is Brian Daboll. That's blatantly obvious. He's been successful with Jalen Hurts. And if he's successful again with Jalen Hurts, I don't believe he's going to get another head coaching opportunity right off the bat. I think he's going to have to wait a few years. And I think as a result, you finally have consistency at that OC spot.
Yep. I agree I like Daboll when the Giants hired him. It hasn't worked out for whatever reason. A lot of it injury related. Their offensive line has been a disaster out there. But I do agree.
Like with Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels not getting a head coaching job. So the Patriots know they're going to have him for a decade with Drake May if they want him.
Right. Well, and Evan, that's where I think the Eagles made their biggest mistake. They got Vic Fangio. They needed the Vic Fangio of offense. That a guy who has been a coach doesn't need to do that anymore because let's say Patullo worked out and he was great.
He's
What's
going to
going
be
to
gone
happen?
anyway.
He would have been gone anyway, so you're back to square one.
Right. Good point. Excellent. That's a great point by you. That Patullo is a bad hire any which way because if he's good, he's gone, and if he's bad, he's gone.
Right, and I know that sounds ridiculous to say, well, what if he was the best candidate? You don't hire him because you're afraid he's going to leave? Well, yeah, kind of. I got to have stability for this quarterback at one time in his career.
Eagles need the best candidate for multiple years, not just for 1 year.
Well, we've had a fun show today. We've had so many text messages. Your name came up in these text messages. I figured this is my last show. I'd say hello to you one more time. I'll probably see you in San Francisco. You going to be in San Francisco this year?
We are. I can't imagine you're going to be there when we're going to be there, though.
Most likely not, but maybe when you're over.
With 3 a.m. start for us.
Oh, man. So somebody texted in one of their favorite segments of the year is when we're on Radio Row. And then we kind of went down this rabbit hole of taking
you
people
blew me off when I tried to say hello to you. Remember that?
Yeah. I was going to the bathroom. Thanks.
I ran over. I ran. Wait, I want you to tell the story, whatever you're going to say, but I got to tell the audience this story. So Mike and I had never met in person. And I see him from a distance, and I run over to go say hello to him. And he's like, hey, how you doing? And he runs away from me to go pee. I'm like, geez, I'm sprinting halfway across this auditorium or this ballroom to see Mike Gill. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. So I took people a little bit behind the scenes and what happens is the show is from 2 to 6 Eastern, but when we're there might be a guest that says, I can only do 10:30 in the morning. So we're pre-recording and doing it. You guys probably can't do that, can you, with the television?
No, we can't. I don't think we can because we don't have the studio access because we need it. If we're going to go really behind the scenes, there's a lot of rules and regulations we have about the staffing around that and television and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Right. You being on the TV side makes it more difficult. We're recording stuff, say, at 10:30 in the morning that will air at 4:30 in the afternoon. That's why I happened to be in the building when you were there. But because someone might have had to be at my table at a certain time, I had to hurry up and go to the bathroom and get back because otherwise I would have missed them.
Right. Well,
that's why.
I'll come on whenever you want. You know.
Well, it was good to catch up with you one more time before the end of the year here. And I will catch up with you in 2026. And the unsportsmanlike moment of the day, as always, is brought to you by White Horse RV. Your RV adventure starts here. People have loved it, man.
Let's go. By the way, White Horse RV, let's go. Thank you, White Horse RV, to jump on board here with Mike Gill, the unsportsmanlike moment of the day. Every day, 3:45, right? If I'm not mistaken, 3:45. And White Horse RV, well done by you. Very smart partnership by you with 97.3 Sports Bash. Mike Gill, unsportsmanlike moment. Thank you, White Horse RV.
Evan Cohen, everybody. He'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Get some sleep, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mike.
All right, see you. There is our unsportsmanlike moment of the day live today with Evan Cohen, and it's brought to you by White Horse RV. So
there was a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, I mean, a good conversation, right? Good. Like Evan's always very thought provoking in terms of he'll turn the questions back around as he and says, "Okay, let me bring this into the equation." There, but good to catch up with Evan. And by the way, Evan, a really good dude in this industry, to be the national radio host on ESPN Radio and basically jump on our show whenever we ask him to. That's not normal, right? That's not a normal ask.
Especially when he's a morning show guy and he's got to, wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Absolutely. So that's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. Make sure you listen tomorrow morning, 6 to 10 a.m. I love when he comes on our show where we do the Unsportsmanlike moment. If you ever listen to Unsportsmanlike in the morning, there are times where they'll replay like my take reacting to the Unsportsmanlike moment. And then people will text our text board like, hey, they just played your reaction. So basically what happens is, they play the Unsportsmanlike. We play the Unsportsmanlike moment. I react to it. They use my reaction on their show, and then they react to me.
I like that idea. It's a little just buying and selling of segments.
There you go.
Ideas.
All right. Is Josh back there? I don't see him. Oh, there he is. I wasn't sure if I could go to break because I didn't see you in the chair.
You didn't hear the music?
I did, but then would you like turn around or something? I didn't see you.
I was over here, and then I slid back over.
Oh, okay.
Just slide over.
You like Evan Cohen.
The Collinsworth slide up.
Josh likes Evan Cohen segments.
Love Evan Cohen. But I also love Evan because Evan is very, selfishly, I love the way Evan talks about the behind-the-scenes stuff because there's a reverence that he has because he's done the dirty jobs like people like me have. So, he appreciates the guy behind the scene more than, your average national host.
He said he hosted in West Palm for 20 years.
He also told a story one time on the morning show about how when he was in West Palm, he had to go to an event and they had no producer, no engineer. So he had to set up the equipment, balance, he had to do a meet, for an event. And he was out there for 6 hours. He's telling them how much he was sweating. And he was I had to tell you, I think 12 showers afterward.
Jeez.
I think there was a time when he did double duty, right? He would host on Sirius
and then do West Palm, yeah.
And then do his local West Palm.
Yeah, that's how the story came up about him taking a shower in North Carolina University.
One of the reasons why Evan is the morning show host is not only because he's very talented and entertaining, he is very well thought of behind the scenes.
Yes.
Coming up with ideas and segments and all that kind of stuff. We're taking your text message today. Favorite guest, favorite segments. Mike, I listen whenever I'm in the car. I love to listen to Sal Powell. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Yeah, a lot of people put Sal Powell today. Sal Powell is one of the guys high on the list there today, right? He's been getting a lot of votes today. Rob Motti, which will be on Hanging with Henning this weekend, is getting a vote from Joe in Rio Grande. Rob Motti from the Associated Press. One of his favorite segments is Rob from Hanging with Henning. All right, we'll read off more text messages, but many people have answered Casey Joyner. One thought every game. Guess what? It's coming up next on the Sports Bash.
Vineland, where you get RK coverage, no charge. RK does it right. RK Kia of Vineland. MyRKKia.com.
Of this job sometime is that we are sitting at Chickies and Pete's at a table where everybody else is eating and drinking, and I'm over here doing a radio show. It's like, I'd like to switch places with these people. It's my last show of the year. Thanks to everybody who's texted in. We've been asking for your favorite guest and favorite segment, and this segment got a lot of votes today. In fact, one listener said this is his favorite segment on any radio show, period. One thought every game. I don't even know when we started doing this, Casey Joyner, but I feel like we've been doing it for years and years and years, and it's good to have you back. As happy holidays, man. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. There we go.
It's got to be at least 10. Maybe it's more than that. I think it's got to be at least 10, maybe 12 or 15 years. I love doing this show. It's my favorite radio show to do. Let's put it that way.
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of the listeners today said they enjoy Casey Joyner, one thought every game. Some people said they time leaving their office to make sure they get in the car so that they can catch the whole thing. One guy says he uses the picks to win his office pick'em pool here. So a lot of pressure we have for the holiday season with everybody needing some extra coin down the stretch they come. Let's look at the Eagles and the Commanders first, as we always do. Eagles play Washington on Saturday. I hate the Saturday games, by the way. Not a big fan of the NFL Saturday schedules. But that being said, this Commanders team right now, beat up, banged up. They lost 8 straight. They finally won last week. When you look at Washington offensively with Marcus Mariota against this Eagle defense, what do we think about that matchup?
Well, if I'm them, they've got, it looks like you're going to have their running back crew healthy. So they're going to run a committee, and I hate committees because they just don't. If you've got one good back, you should find a hot hand in the committee. But they've been doing it like they're going to have Rodriguez, Bill, and McNichols all be splitting carries. So it's kind of weird there. I don't like the matchups that they have in the passing game. The only thing I like for them is maybe Debo versus Cooper. I like that matchup from Washington's perspective. It can be something that they can get some big plays on. But, they've got nothing else. They've got backup tight end. The other 2 receivers are terrible. So if I'm the Eagles, I'm saying, look, you know what? I know Terry McLaurin's good. I'm going to trust Jackson to cover him. I got to get Cooper on Debo and add some coverage help there, because if we can keep Debo from hitting big plays, we could probably limit their offense to doing much.
You take a look at, the Eagles defense, which obviously had a shutout last week against the Raiders. You're thinking, okay, now they have an opportunity to play another team that's struggling here. When you flip it over to the Eagle offense, who had their way with the Raiders, should they have similar success against this Washington defense?
I think it's going to be interesting because the Eagles will have some, like they did last week, there's going to be some weaknesses in coverage that they can go after. Will Harris is rating poorly in coverage against tight ends. They're terrible in vertical coverage. Their vertical pass numbers they're 28th in vertical points allowed per game over the past 4 weeks. They're 30th in tight end points allowed per game. Mikey Samuel is allowing 13 PPR points per game. That's terrible. Noah Igbenogany, one of my favorite names, maybe my favorite name in the NFL, Igbenogany. 10.3 yards per target. That's terrible. So they've got all sorts of things, but I keep looking at it going, okay, Philadelphia, what do they want to do? They want to run the ball. The Commanders are 22nd in rush points allowed on planned rush plays over the past 4 weeks. So I'm looking at the Eagles going, I think they'll do just like last week and say, you know what? We're just going to get back to that ground and pound. We're going to punch these guys in the mouth. We'll throw some passes, but we'll have the opportunities. We're going to try and just do a ground and pound and stick with who we are, our identity. And I like their chances for success there.
All right, we'll get Casey's pick on this game as we always do at the end. Let's look at one thought every game. Starts tonight with a big one, L.A. and Seattle. This one could be for who wins the West. The Rams have it right now, but they are basically tied. L.A. has the tiebreaker over Seattle.
They do. It's about as closely contested as can be. The Rams have better pass blocking. Their rushing offense has been better since they switched. They're basically doing a platoon now with Kyron and Corum. It is a good platoon because Corum's a good back. Seattle is better in pass coverage. Los Angeles is stronger pass rush numbers. So it's kind of like tied when I look at all the metrics. But the Rams are just a short week road trip. They probably won't have Devontae Adams. They've got the off-field thing of Puka Nacua now, and I just like Seattle at home on a short week with a nutty crowd. I think I'll take Seattle. It's going to be real close, but I'll pick Seattle because of that tiebreaker.
Okay, Seattle tonight, they would have first place in the NFC and the NFC West as well. Green Bay, Chicago, this is for first place on Saturday night after the Eagles and Washington. This is for first place in the NFC North. Obviously, Green Bay won the last matchup. Parsons had a big factor in that game.
He did. It's a tough game to pick because Parsons is out, so how good is the Green Bay pass rush going to be without him? I don't know. Chicago's passing game is good, but Odunze and Burden are both out. Burden's probably replaceable as Odunze. He hasn't been doing a lot this year, but still you don't like to lose the depth. And I look at it and go, the Bears have lost 12 of the last 13 games against the Packers, but Chicago's better pass blocking. Their pass rush is now stronger with Parsons out. They've got an edge in special teams. They're the home team. They've only won one of the last 13 against the Packers, but I'm going to pick them to win.
All right, likes the Packers in that game. That would obviously open up a little bit. Likes the Bears. That would open up a little gap between them and Philadelphia because the Bears have the tiebreaker over Philadelphia. They'd be up 1 with 2 to go. All right, one thought every game Sunday, Buffalo, Cleveland. Obviously, Cleveland really strong, but Buffalo, this cannot be one of these games where you go and lose to a team that you are a 10.5-point favorite over.
Yeah, you can't. You've got to take these guys seriously. I think Buffalo will because they just. After last week, they realized, hey, we still got a shot at this. And since you've got a shot, it'll keep you focused. They're not definitely going to win the division, but they've got a chance at it. Cleveland has one pass of victory. They get the best pass rush numbers in the league over the past month. So if they can get Buffalo to throw the ball out, it'll work. I don't like their ability to be able to do that because the Bills have very good pass blocking. They got a rushing attack. They can slow the game down. Their coverage is so-so, but it's Shedeur Sanders. I still don't trust the Browns' offense enough. So, and Cleveland's been turnover prone of late too. I'll take the Bills to win.
All right, one thought every game. Chargers, Dallas. Dallas obviously needs a miracle. Chargers need this game though if they want to hit that wild card.
It's amazing the Cowboys were a favorite, 6-7-1 versus 10-4 for the Chargers. Wow! And I started looking at the metrics. I'm like, okay, I can see why. Dallas, huge passing game offense and passing game. In fact, the problem for the Chargers right now is it seems they don't want Herbert to throw the ball. Which it's ground hardball and things. I mean, you're going to do that, but they've been throwing the ball a lot earlier this year. I think it means that Herbert's kind of banged up, so that's a problem for them. The Chargers fare better in every defensive metric, but that I track for my article series of The Athletic. But I'll take that as, in fact, when I have to look at it, I go, the Cowboys are the offensive edge, Chargers are the defensive edge. I know it's a road game for the Chargers, but I'll pick defense or offense. This one, take the Chargers.
One thought every game, a game that means nothing. Kansas City is involved. They play Tennessee, and obviously they're going with Gardner Minshew.
I know what to make of Gardner Minshew. He's done a solid job. He's a good backup. I think still he's a backup. The Titans have better metrics than most people think. They were the worst team in the league for a while there. They're not anymore. I'm not saying they're good, but they're mediocre. And right now the Chiefs are kind of mediocre. So I still think the Chiefs will win, but I just don't know what to expect from Minshew. What kind of game plan is Andy able to run the whole game, or does he have a limited game plan? I really don't know the answer to that question. So be real cautious of this. Say Kansas City wins, but really close.
One thought every game, another game that means nothing. Cincinnati, Miami, although it means something for Quinn Ewers. The new quarterback, Tua, has been benched.
Yeah, he has, and because he's playing so badly. There were times there was that one blitz that Pittsburgh ran from the backside. He should have been able to see that coming. They were saying in the Manning cast, Peyton was like, hey, look, they fake it on the front side. If you see that should cue you that, hey, they're going to run something on the backside. You need to be looking for it. And Tua didn't even see it. So it's not just it was inaccurate passes, things of that nature. It's that he's doing things on field play call adjustments that he needs to make that he didn't. You take that and it's like, look, I know the Bengals offense was bad last week, but it's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, Quinn Ewers, I'm taking Burrow.
One thought every game. Another game that doesn't mean anything. We're starting to get a bunch of these. Jets and the Saints, though, means something for the Saints. They've won 2 in a row.
Saints they've done a lot of playing better, and New York has played a lot better in a lot of ways too. But New Orleans has metric areas advantages in 4 areas. They're the home team also, so that's big. New York has a metric edge in only 1 area, but it's a huge edge in special teams. I'm looking at that going, can I really expect special teams to make up for all the other deficiencies? Probably not. The Saints won't have Kamara, it looks like. They already put Devin Neal on the IR, so they're going to be down to a third-string back. Evan Hunt, you have to go with Audric's teammate. So they've got some problems there. I still like their advantage being a home. I'll take it and win.
One thought every game, Minnesota and the Giants, another game with not a lot of meaning to it. But the Vikings, they've been a little spoiler here late.
They have, and McCarthy is showing that if you're the Vikings, you're like, okay, he's not great, but you can see because this is essentially his rookie year. I know he played a little bit in his first year, but he had the injury, so you can start to see at the end, like, all right, he's progressing pretty well, and he's doing pretty well, even though he's not getting much out of Justin Jefferson. Like, you can see a path forward. The Vikings did a great defense at Brian Flores. The Giants closed some of that gap on offense, but New York has some of the worst special teams numbers in the league over the past month. I'll take defensive special teams in this one. Take the Vikings.
One thought every game. This game matters. Tampa and Carolina, the winner would win, have the leg up in the north. South, excuse me. They do play again in 2 weeks.
I don't like trusting metrics this one because Carolina's the most inconsistent team in the league. So what I did from my article at The Athletic, I said, look, let's take a different route. Carolina's 5-0 when they score 27 or more points. They're 2-7 when they score less than 27. Tampa's 5-0 when they allow 20 or fewer points. 2-7 when they give up more than 20. So it's like, will Carolina be able to score 20, score 27 or more, or less than 20? They may end up in the middle there, but if they're over 20, it still does the same thing. Bucks defense is pretty bad. I think the Panthers could put enough points. I'll take Carolina.
By the way, Tampa is a 3-point favorite on the road at Carolina in this game there. So check that out in that matchup. Jacksonville, Denver. This game matters. Denver is the 1 seed right now. Jacksonville trying to hold on in the AFC South.
I don't think people understand how good Jacksonville really is. The more I look at their numbers and kept looking at a bunch of different things, and when I start to charge my subscribers last night, I'm like, wow, this is a really good team. Cohen's got this team going in a lot of different ways. They match up with Denver pretty much in every metric over the past month. Jaguars have a slight special teams advantage, but Denver's offsets that with home field. So I'll take in a game this close, I'll take Denver for the tiebreaker being at home. But I mean, it is really, really close. It's a coin flip. If I was betting the spread, I'd go for the Jaguars, but I'm picking Denver to win straight up.
All right, one thought every game. Atlanta, Arizona. 2 teams really playing out the string here. And obviously, Arizona, John Gannon could be in some trouble.
Yeah, that team, there was a time like a year or so ago when we were talking about them, and you could see they had a lot of fight, a lot of fire. This is a team that's going to, you may out-talent them, but they're going to outfight you. They're still doing some things well. You're not seeing that same thing. It's not a good thing. They're maybe the worst team, not the worst team because the Raiders are around, but they're right. Just, if it weren't for the Raiders, they would be the worst team. They can't do anything well. Atlanta has metric advantages every area. I'll take them big.
One thought every game, Pittsburgh, Detroit. Big game for both these teams. Pittsburgh needs it for the division still, and that's their only, I guess they have a little path to the wild card down there in the AFC. Detroit, though, desperately needs this game if they want to hang involved in the playoff chase.
Yeah, the Steelers, that they're a touchdown underdog. They had that dominant Monday night run. Like, why are they there? Well, they get a numbers edge in pass coverage. I saw it in pass blocking, but Detroit has better skill position players as the home team, and they've got a lot of advantages in those areas. Detroit's got shaky defense, but they're so much better on offense. I'll take them for that. I think it'll be close. I'll take the Lions to win because of that, but I can understand why the Steelers are 7-point dog.
All right, that would keep Detroit alive. Vegas, we saw how bad they were last week. This is probably not a defense they want to face. In Houston, by the way.
No, Houston, and I mentioned I've got those categories that I look at. Been doing this system all year long. This is the first time that a team has had an edge over the other team in every single category, all 10 categories. Like, are you kidding me? I run my chart tonight. I do it blind, so I can't tell what the results going to be able to get to the end. I look at I knew the Raiders were bad. Like, they are that bad. I'll take Houston and win this one hands down. The Raiders, this is just an abysmal team. And Houston right now, they're playing well, too. It's not just the metrics. You look at the on-field play, it's like, this is a good team.
They couldn't score last week against Philadelphia. Nothing against their defense. Houston might be playing the best defense out of anybody in football. By the way, the over-under in that game, 37. It's essentially saying that Vegas will not score in this game. Okay, New England, Baltimore, one thought every game. Big game for both, more meaningful. Actually, I don't know. New England needs this game if they want to be in play for that division. Baltimore obviously needs it for their division.
I wonder if that loss last week is a carryover effect for the Patriots. I know they're pros, and I know they got a really good coach and all that, but when you lose that, you won the division. You are 21 up. You're up 20-0. You're going to win the division. And then you blow it, and they score 5 straight drives, and you're like, can't stop them at all. That's scary. That kind of thing can carry over. Baltimore being the flip side of that. They shut out Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati has good offense, and they've had trouble with them in the past, and they have that. So I'd like the momentum better for the Ravens. And the Ravens also stopped the run better than the Patriots, too. And that could be a big difference maker, which should be a ground-central game of taking Baltimore.
One thought every game Monday. Both teams needed Indy in the wild card mix, 2 games out of the division. San Francisco, kind of an afterthought in that West, but they're right there with the Rams and Seattle. They'll know a little bit, too, what this game will mean for them after tonight.
I'd like the Niners a lot more if they could get some pass rush pressure. As I say in my article, we know Phillip Rivers has a noodle for an arm, so he can't throw anything. But the 49ers pass rush metrics have been just terrible over the past month. They're giving up too many big plays on the ground, too. So, all right, Rivers can do dink-and-dunk passes. Jonathan Taylor can run the ball. I think it'll keep the game close. I don't like the Colts well enough to win because I still think San Francisco, you've got Purdy, you've got CMC, you've got the people, they're passing, their receivers are healthy and things. So I like their offense there enough to get enough done. But I think this game will be a lot closer than people think.
All right, there you go. One thought every game. And then, of course, Philadelphia plays Washington, a Philly win. They would win the NFC East back-to-back years for the first time that someone has done it in 20 seasons. The Eagles were the last team to do it. All they got to do is win in Washington. Now, these Saturday Eagle-Washington games have not gone well over the years. Does that change?
I don't think so, because last week showed the Eagles, hey, we can still use that basic game plan, punch them in the mouth, avoid turnovers, run the ball, go vertical when we do pass, go for vertical stuff, or really safe passes, either really safe passes or go for broke. I think that same formula works against Washington. I think they could do the same thing. They don't need. I mean, they would obviously change the plays, but as far as the game plan idea, what you're doing going into this game, I don't think the Eagles have to change a thing. Like we're going to go with the same smash mouth, play it safe, punch them in the mouth mode because we just out talent this team by that much. I'm taking a meat and potatoes game plan for a solid Eagles win, maybe by double digits.
All right, there you go. One thought every game. And Casey Joyner, of course, from The Athletic, back again with our last one thought every game of the season for us here. We'll look at the playoffs and more when we're back in January. But, of course, Casey, we appreciate the segment. Always a lot of fun, and it's good to see the listeners throwing in some love for you in this segment here on the show today. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
There's Casey Joyner from The Athletic, everybody. Make sure you follow Casey. All right, when we come back, it is our final segment for me for 2025. We'll get out of here with that coming up next.
You're listening to The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, get ready to get out of here. And Chickies and Pete's Monday and Tuesday next week. Then we're off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday and Tuesday the following week. Then we're off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Pete and Josh have you on Monday. Pete and Earnshaw will have you on Tuesday. And then same thing the following week. Pete and Nick will be on the 29th and the 30th. This is my last day today.
Hopefully the Eagles will clinch for us on Saturday.
Yeah, I think so. I think the Eagles will win the game. I think they'll win pretty handily, like 24-10, something like that.
Casey said meat and potatoes.
Yeah. I think
like
they,
that.
you know, Saquon Barkley said today at practice, like, we can kind of do what we want to do the next 3 weeks here and get ourselves back together.
Yeah, he said
I think
that
by
we-
the time
he said we control our outcome, basically.
Yeah, I think by the time I'm back on January the 5th, the Eagles will probably that'll be the last weekend of the year, right? They would play it on Sunday against Washington.
Yep.
And then on Monday, I'll be back to react to that game, and we'll know who they're playing in the playoffs.
You'll know everything.
So, yeah. Now, PG and Josh, I'm all off for a while here. When I come back, if I came back and there was a plaque on the wall,
oh God,
what would you write about me? Would it be as flattering as some of the stuff?
Yes, it would be more flattering than that.
I'd like to come back and I'd like a plaque on the wall, please.
Not coming
It'll
out
be
of my
gold.
paycheck.
It'll be gold.
With all my accomplishments.
You want it to be gold or something else?
Some guy on the
If,
I
it-
was
if,
walking
if
down
it's
the
gold, it might be stolen gold.
I was walking down the Chickies and Pete's here, and there's pictures of like all the athletes. He said, "What do you think?"
From about 25 years ago.
What do you think that the plaque should say for these guys? I was like, "What?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" I didn't realize what he was talking about. But I'd like a nice plaque when I get back with your finest writing there, Josh. All right, Thursday Night Football tonight. Check me out at Mike Gill Show. I'll be active while I'm off the next couple of weeks. You can find me doing a couple things here and there. Have a great night. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. I'll talk to you in 2026.